two-game interleague matchup with the Athletics by cruising to their fourth straight home win on Tuesday. Giancarlo Stanton returned with a bang to the starting lineup after being hit by a pitch on his wrist over the weekend. Will Stanton propel Miami to a two-game sweep of the A's Wednesday, or will the A's step up, led by the power-hitting Chris Davis? Marlins and Athletics square off, and all the action comes your way on MLB.tv. Welcome to Marlins Park in Miami, where the Marlins look for back-to-back wins in their two-game series with the Athletics. Miami's bats came alive in the opening game Tuesday, buoyed by the return of Giancarlo Stanton. But before Stanton displayed his power, Marcell Ozuna stepped to the plate against Jarrell Cotton in the fourth, with his team trailing by a run.
Marcell hits a fly ball deep to right center. Joyce going back in front of the bullpen, at the wall. Goodbye, we're tied. Marcell Ozuna with his 16th of the season, and it's 1-1 in the fourth. Now talking about who might be headed to the All-Star game, who may not be. Marcell Ozuna certainly incredibly deserving.
Showing no ill effects after being hit by a pitch on his wrist Saturday, it was Stanton at the dish in the fifth inning against Cotton, with his team hanging on to a one-run lead.
And Stanton crushes the ball. This is high, and it's way back into left center, back toward the Clevelander, and it's up and away. A home run for Giancarlo.
After Stanton's 17th homer of the season, the Marlins added one more run to take a 5-1 lead. Miami starter Jose Urena would do his job in the top half of the sixth by shutting the A's down with a 1-2-3 frame.
The pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. 4 strikeouts for Jose Urena, 14 in a row retired, and nothing across here for the A's.
A.J. Ramos finished it off in the ninth for the Marlins as Miami coasted to an 8-1 victory. Today, the Marlins turn to Edinson Volquez, looking to win his fourth straight start. After beginning the season 0-7, Volquez has come on strong, tossing the first no-hitter of the season in the majors on June 3rd against the D-backs, and following it up with a 7 scoreless innings performance last Thursday against the Pirates. Opposing Volquez will be Oakland rookie Daniel Gossett, making his big league debut. The right-handed throwing 24-year-old is the A's number 5 overall prospect, according to MLBpipeline.com. Gossett notched a 3-3 record with a 3.41 ERA in 11 starts for AAA Nashville this season. Let's head inside the broadcast booth for the call of the action between the Marlins and Athletics in the Sunshine State.
At the top of the order for the Braves, it'll be Brugman, Lowry, and Healy. Jacob Brugman will lead off and play in center field. Jed Lowry will play second at bat number 2. And Ryan Healy's at third base, hitting third. Then Davis, Alonso, and Vogt. Chris Davis will play left and bat cleanup. Yonder Alonso at first base, hits number 5. Stephen Vogt will do the catching, and he'll bat 6. Then Pinder, Joyce, and Gossett. Chad Pinder is the shortstop, a rookie. He'll bat number 7. Matt Joyce in right field, batting 8th. And Daniel Gossett is pitching and making his major league debut here at Marlins Park this afternoon. For the Marlins, it'll be Gordon, Stanton, and Yelich. D. Gordon at second leads off. Giancarlo's in right, hitting second. And the center fielder Christian Yelich bats third. Then Ozuna, Realmuto, and Dietrich. Marcell Ozuna in left field, number 4 in the order, batting 5th and catching. JT Realmuto, and playing at third base and hitting number 6, Derek Dietrich. Then Moore, Riddle, and Volquez. Tyler Moore will be at first base. He'll bat 7th. JT Riddle is at shortstop, hitting 8th, and Edinson Volquez is pitching and batting 9th for the Marlins. Marlins and the A's played a 2-game series out at Oakland, same format, a night game followed by a day game, and the team split those two. Marlins were winners here last night. So the A's going for a split in the season series and looking to pick up a win. They've been tough to come by of late for this Oakland ball club, but the Marlins with a win today will finish up the season going 3-1 against the Oakland A's. Well, here comes Edinson Volquez and the Marlins out onto the field, Jeff.
All right, Dave, this afternoon the Marlins sending their hottest pitcher to the mound, Volquez, who has won each of his last 3 starts, including that no-hitter against Arizona 2 outings ago, right here in this ballpark on June the 3rd. Last time out for Volquez Thursday in Pittsburgh. 7 scoreless innings, only 3 hits allowed. So Volquez in this afternoon, having not allowed a run in his last 16 innings of work, his last 2 starts. If you go back over his last 3 times out, 3 wins and a 0.41 ERA. He's allowed 1 run in 22 innings. Opponents batting just .088 against him in his last 3 outings. So Volquez throwing a lot of strikes, working very aggressively on a good roll. He's out there this afternoon as the Marlins look for this 2-game series sweep. For the A's, 24-year-old right-hander Daniel Gossett makes his big league debut. He'd been a hot pitcher of late at AAA Nashville. Steps into the Oakland rotation with Andrew Triggs in the disabled list now with a strained hip. Gossett will look to build on the success he was having in the minor leagues. 3-3, a 3.41 ERA and 11 starts at Nashville. But his last 5 times out, he was 3-1, a 2.25 ERA. He had allowed a total of 4 runs in his last 3 starts. So Gossett, a South Carolina native, a lot of friends, a lot of family on hand here in Miami this afternoon, as he gets set to become the 26th pitcher to make his major league debut as a starter against the Marlins. Last week was Jared Eichhoff of the Phillies here at Marlins Park in August of 2015. So it's been a while. You've got Gossett in his debut. You've got the wily veteran Volquez looking to keep rolling for the Marlins. Miami looking to sweep this 2-game series and hit the road for Atlanta with some momentum. We're set for baseball. For the play-by-play, here's the voice of the Marlins, Dave Van Horn.
All right, thanks, Cap, and hi again, everybody. Glad to have you aboard for this afternoon's game. Marlins out there in the home whites, and for the Oakland A's, the road grays, trimmed in green and gold. And the rookie, Jacob Brugman, steps in, playing in center field, playing in his 6th major league game. He's gone 6 for 20 so far, a .300 average. Does not have an extra base hit, not yet. Here's the pitch to Brugman, and it's high and outside, and we're underway. Edinson Volquez with his first, missing up and away from Brugman, a lefty hitter. Switch hitter bats number 2, Jed Lowry. 1-0 the count. Here's the 33-year-old veteran working, and the pitch is swung on and fouled off to the right side. It got into the seats, and I believe it struck an empty seat and then caromed to a row or 2 below that. And they're going to have to check and make sure everybody's okay. That bat went helicoptering into the box seats over top of the A's dugout. So everybody looking over there to see if everybody's okay. A fan is returning the bat, and I imagine we'll see some kind of a bat exchange here. Brugman back in there. He's got a new bat anyway. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jacob Brugman. The pitch, and it's fouled away off to the left side. 25-year-old rookie was 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts in last night's game. Last night the Marlins were 8-1 winners. Jose Urena over Jarrell Cotton. Volquez, a 6-footer, 220, solid right-hander from Santo Domingo in the Dominican. Ground ball to first. Up with it, Tyler Moore takes it to the bag. That's all for Brugman. 1 down here to get the game underway. With Moore at first, T. Gordon's at second, J.T. Riddle at shortstop, Derek Dietrich over at third base, and behind the plate, J.T. Realmuto. And the outfield, Ozuna, Yelich, and Stanton. Lowry, a switch hitter, the veteran, hitting .288. He came up empty last night, 0 for 4. Nonetheless, in his last 22 games, has batted .330, lifting his average up to the .288 mark. Pitch outside to Lowry. 1 ball and no strikes with Ryan Healy on deck. Over the course of his 13-year major league career, Volquez has pitched for the Rangers, the Reds, the Padres, the Dodgers, the Pirates, the Royals, now the Marlins. He missed the Expos along the way. 2 balls, no strikes. 92 and 86. in his career. This is 272nd major league game, 265th major league start. Pitch low, ball 3-0 the count on Jed Lowry. Mentioned this at the outset. While he is 3-7 overall after 12 starts and a 3.41 earned run average, you'll recall he was 0 for 7 in his first 9 starts. There's a strike called on Lowry, 3-1. He's won his last 3, 3-0 and a 0.41 earned run average. That of course includes the no-hitter against the Diamondbacks here. Here's the 3-1, and this ball poked on a line but fouled down the right field line into the corner, and Stanton will have to go retrieve that ball. 3-2. Volquez works off the first base edge of the pitching rubber, and the whole thing to watch for with Volquez is the command of his pitches. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled straight back. Still 3-2 on Jed Lowry.
His control has been a big part of the turnaround for him, Dave. Early on, when he was struggling, he was among the league leaders in walks allowed per 9 innings, averaging nearly 7 walks for every 9 innings of work to start the year over his first 6 starts. Last 6 starts, he's down under 3 walks per 9, so he's pounding the strike, so he's pitching with tremendous confidence.
Volquez rocks back, delivers, and misses outside, and there's a walk.
As if on cue.
Ryan Healy will be the batter. So a free pass to Lowry. Volquez coming into this game. Well, let's update it to include the out he got when he retired Brugman. He's pitched 69 innings, has 65 strikeouts, and that's the 36th walk he's issued. The Marlins will look for Healy to pull the ball. He's batting .276, 14 homers, 16 doubles. Volquez to the plate and finds the inside corner, called strike. Healy was 0 for 4 last night. He started out the season in his first 27 games hitting .228, but in his last 36 games he's batted .310. But again, came up empty last night. Double play ball would be nice for Volquez here. Here's the pitch, and an off-speed pitch missed outside. Breaking ball, tried to clip that outside edge, and he missed out there. Lowry the runner at first base. D. Gordon plays up the middle, but he's on the second base side, and both Dietrich and Riddle back on the left side. 1-1 to Ryan Healy. From the high set, Volquez steps off quickly and looks over to first base. Volquez taking a long look in to JT Realmuto. Turns the body, looks over at first. Now comes to the set position. And the pitch. And the ball is popped up. Out into shallow right. D. Gordon goes back over toward the line, makes the catch, 2 down. Healy pops it up for D. That'll bring Chris Davis to the plate. When the Marlins and the A's played at the Oakland Coliseum, Edinson Volquez lost his start out there to Sonny Gray 4-1. That was on the 24th of May. In his career against the A's, he's 3-4. This is his 8th career start against Oakland. Chris Davis, a right-handed batter, hitting .245, 17 homers, 41 batted in. And he takes the first pitch inside, and ball 1. Volquez with 2 outs, a runner at first base, and should mention this right at the outset. He hasn't allowed a run in his last 16 innings and only 1 run in his last 22 innings. A toss to first base, and he has Lowry diving back to the bag. First base coach Marcus Jensen over there to say something to Lowry. With 2 outs, Davis waits for the pitch. Volquez looking at Lowry. Sets and deals. Runner not going, and the ball's bounced to third. Backing up to get a good hop. Dietrich drops the ball, picks it up, throws to first, not in time. E5.
Got caught a little bit in between there. Wasn't sure, do I take a step in, take a step back? He froze, then he took that step back, and he couldn't quite handle that in between hop.
I thought he was going to handle it. He took the step back. It was right at his midsection, but it hit the heel of his glove, rolled up his chest, and then down onto the ground. He just couldn't control the ball.
And then he looked at second once he picked it up. Had he gone straight to first base, might have gotten there ahead of Davis, but a little hesitation, I think, cost him.
I agree with you. So that extends the inning for Volquez. He should be out of this. They put a shift on for Yonder Alonso. D. Gordon's in shallow right. Moore plays back deep. Riddle up the middle, but on the shortstop side. The pitch and a called strike. Nothing in 1 to Yonder Alonso. Alonso checks in today batting .310, having a terrific year. 16 homers, 11 doubles. He's knocked in 36 runs. He was 1 for 3 with a walk here in last night's game. Left-hand batter waits. And Volquez checks the lead runner, Lowry. The pitch high and outside. 1-1. You can be sure that Derek Dietrich feels terrible about not fielding that ball and getting Volquez out of this inning. And I'm sure he's not thinking about it, but every once in a while a fielder will make a mistake like that and then start counting the pitches that he has cost the pitcher. Here's the next one way outside. Ball 2, 2-1.
No, we're at 3. In case he's not counting, we can. So now he's got to deal with the A's hottest hitter, their most dangerous hitter, most likely an all-star this year, Alonso.
Yeah, Dietrich still worried about that fielding error, and he just raised the glove on the left hand and then slapped the glove with his right hand. Not the inside of the pocket. No, he slapped the back of the glove. He's punishing the glove. Giving it a spanking. He needs to shake this up. He could have another one hit right at him. 3-1 the count on Yonder Alonso. Edinson Volquez looking for his 4th win. 4th straight win. Here's the pitch. And here's a high pop up down the right field line toward the sidewall. D. Gordon back looking, but he can't get this. It's back into the seats. And 3-2 on Alonso. Just underway here. It's the first game to start up in Major League Baseball today. The next game to start is out in San Diego at 3:40 Eastern time. The Reds and the Padres. And 5 minutes after that, Kansas City at San Francisco. 3-2 the count on Alonso. The pitch, and it's low and away, ball 4, and the inning goes on. Second walk given up by Edinson Volquez. Now the bases are loaded. Alonso's at first. Chris Davis is at second base. Jed Lowry is at third base. And Stephen Vogt, who did not play last night, comes to bat here. He's hitting .226, 4 homers, 17 batted in. Left-hand hitting catcher. Volquez sets, delivers the pitch, and it's low and inside.
Volquez was in the bases loaded bind in the first inning in his last start Thursday in Pittsburgh. We're 7 scoreless in the game, but he had to strike out Andrew McCutchen looking with the bases loaded, and that first. He's in a mess again here today.
Vogt .292 with runners in scoring position, 7 for 24, and .500 with the bases loaded, 2 for 4. The pitch missed outside, 2-0. Now Vogt somewhere along the line here is going to get a pitch to hit.
Thursday he allowed a hit, a walk, and he hit a man in the first inning. Then once he escaped, he allowed only 3 more base runners the rest of the way.
Now Juan Davis on his way out, and Derek Dietrich put his hands on his hips and was just looking down at his shoes. He knows that Volquez should be in the dugout. But the other side of that is, and especially true with veterans, they've been through this before. They know that there are going to be innings where they have to pitch around an error. The error put 2 on with 2 outs. Then Alonso drew the walk to load the bases. 2-0. Juan Davis back into the dugout, and Volquez comes set from that high set position. Here comes the 2-0, and it's taken outside, ball 3.
And suddenly he's not even close. We were talking about how good his command has been in recent starts, but he's not even close to the strike zone.
He's thrown 3 balls well out of the zone to Stephen Vogt. And Vogt has opted not to chase. Here's the 3-0. Outside, ball 4, and an RBI for Vogt, and a 1-0 lead for the Oakland A's. 3rd walk of the inning. A bases loaded walk puts the A's on the scoreboard. Lowry home to score the run. Davis goes to 3rd. Alonso to 2nd. Vogt is now the runner at first base. Unearned run.
Marlins gifted the A's the run on the bases loaded balk last night. Gave Oakland a 1-0 lead. Marlins stormed back after that. They've given a run away here.
Pitch low and inside to the right hand hitting shortstop Chad Pinder, who's hitting .229. Pinder got hit by a pitch last night, but he didn't have a hit last night. 0 for 2. The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a chopper toward 3rd, but foul. Pinder's hit 8 home runs, has 18 batted in. 7 doubles on the season. And Pinder batting here with the bases loaded. Only the 2nd time this season that he's come up with the bases loaded, and he was 0 for 1 the first time. The 1-1 pitch. That's low and inside. With men in scoring position, Pinder's hitting .194, 6 for 31. So maybe this is an out card that Volquez can find a way to play. Here's the 2-1 swing and a miss, strike 2. Now they've gotten to 2-2. And so this is a big pitch, and JT wants to talk to Volquez about it. Goes out quickly, put his arm around Volquez at the waist, and told him what he thinks they ought to do here to get out of this now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. JT back behind the plate, sets the target. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out. Volquez finally gets out of it with his first strikeout of the day after 3 walks in the inning, including 1 with the bases full. 1-0 Oakland, and the Marlins are coming to bat next. You're listening to the Marlins Radio Network. this year. They've been hard-pressed to keep a starting rotation together. Gossett is 24 years old, born in Lyman, North Carolina, grew up in Duncan, South Carolina, went to Burns High School, and drafted by the A's, second-round pick out of Clemson in 2014. The Red Sox had drafted him out of high school, but he did not sign. Went to Clemson and then went in the 2014 draft. At Nashville, their AAA club, the Nashville Sounds, 3-3, a 3.41 ERA after 11 starts there. Give you a breakdown on his innings, because some of the numbers are very good in spite of a 3-3 record. So the right-hander is ready. And the pitch. D. Gordon takes, and a called strike. So his first pitch in the big leagues, a strike, and that ball is taken out of play immediately, and that will be turned over to the authenticator. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and there's a bounding ball to the right side, fielded by the second baseman Lowry, thrown to first for the out. Gordon is out 4-3, and Giancarlo will come to bat. Gossett at Nashville pitched 60 2/3 innings, gave up 53 hits, 19 walks, 54 strikeouts. So he's walking 2.8 every 9 innings, striking out 8 batters every 9 innings. Here's the pitch to Giancarlo, and the pitch is lifted foul down the right field line, up under the ribbon board into the lower seating bowl. 0-1 on Giancarlo, who's hitting .286 now with 17 homers. Hit one here last night. Went 1 for 4 with a walk in last night's game. The pitch and a called strike. Quickly 2 strikes on Stanton. So Daniel Gossett. Stanton up, Yelich on deck. Stanton swings and misses a breaking pitch down. And there's the first major league strikeout for Daniel Gossett. You'll remember that one. 2 down, nobody on, 1-0 A's. Bottom of the first inning, and Christian Yelich up, hitting .263. 1 for 5 last night. 4 years in the minor league system with the A's for Gossett, and the pitch low and outside. He went 19-22. 77 games, 66 starts, and his numbers were about the same. 2.7 walks per 9 and 8 strikeouts per 9 over his 4 years in the minors. 1 ball, 1 strike. Listed at the start of this season as the A's number 5 prospect. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and that's low and outside. He is replacing Andrew Triggs, who's got a hip injury and is on the DL. Two and one, the count on Yelich, lefty hitter, and the pitch. And that's on the outside edge. And the plate umpire, Adrian Johnson, today calling those balls and strikes. Nick Lentz at first base. The crew chief, Gary Cedarstrom, is working second. And Gabe Morales is at third. Here's a 2-2. Yelich swings and grounds a ball to the right side. To his right, Lowry gets it, turns, throws, and he got Yelich at first base. So a 3-up, 3-down first inning. First big league inning is under his belt. Daniel Gossett, and he has the lead 1-0. On to the second we go on the Marlins Radio Network. As we move into the second inning, and it'll be Joyce, Gossett, and Brugman. 8, 9, and 1 in the batting order. If the Marlins score 5 today, you've got a chance to score 50% off your entire online order tomorrow at papajohns.com by using promo code Marlins5. It's valid online only at participating South Florida Papa John's locations. Volquez delivers, and a called strike on the lefty hitter Matt Joyce, who's batting .197. Had a hit here in 3 trips last night. Joyce with 7 home runs, 7 doubles on the season. The pitch, and the lefty hitter takes another strike, and it's 0-2. That was a changeup from Volquez. By the way, Papa John's is the official pizza of the Miami Marlins. The pitch, and that's low. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Matt Joyce. Volquez, who fought his command issues once again in the first inning, gave up an unearned run as a result of an error by third baseman Derek Dietrich that would have had him out of the inning before they had scored the run. But then Volquez walked in the only run the A's got out of the inning.
Wound up being a 31 pitch inning for him, and 15 of the pitches came after the error.
It was a 2-2, popped up foul. This is how to play third base side. I mean, there's no question he's far better off if Dietrich makes that play. But it is, in fact, a shared responsibility the rest of that inning. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and it's fouled off. It's up to Volquez to do his best to pitch around the error, and he ran into those control issues. Right after the error, he walked the next 2 batters, including Stephen Vogt, whose walk forced him the run. So the A's got that run in the first without a hit. Pitch is low and inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Matt Joyce. Both Tyler Moore and D. Gordon, the right side of the infield back, and the shortstop Riddle is playing up the middle. Here's the pitch, and here's a line drive that'll challenge Yelich. He goes back, it gets over him, and one hops up against the wall in center. And pulling up at second base is Matt Joyce, his 8th double of the year and the first hit of the afternoon in this game. We're only in the second. That'll bring Daniel Gossett to the plate. Now, this could be interesting on a lot of levels. First of all, the third base coach, Chip Hale, comes down to talk to Gossett. I would think they want him to advance the runner. Gossett has no major league at-bats. This is his major league debut. He has no professional at-bats. The last time he hit, he was in high school. Well, another rookie on the club, Jacob Brugman, has lent him a bat. So he's using a Brugman bat. Got the batting gloves on. There's a pickoff attempt at second, and diving back to the bag, Matt Joyce. Gossett bats right-handed. I checked around to see if anybody had any of his high school stats. The answer everywhere was no. Here's the ball bunted, foul at the plate.
Now, he said he played some right field when he didn't pitch when he was in high school. He said he was a very average high school hitter.
When you don't see it in the bio and nobody has any idea what he hit in high school, we know he wasn't a 400 hitter. Maybe not even a 350. Maybe somewhere around 250. Here's the 0-1, and he shows bunt, gets it down third base side. Picked up there by Dietrich, thrown to first for the out, and the runner moves to third. So Gossett gets that done. So far, so good for the young man. A perfect first inning on the mound, including his first major league strikeout. Now a sacrifice bunt. Joyce at third base for Jacob Brugman, who has his own Brugman bat. Left-hand hitter grounded out to Tyler Moore, the first baseman, his first time up. Dietrich plays in on the grass at third base. Moore even with the bag at first base. Pitch is high and outside. Riddle, the shortstop, cheats to his left. D. Gordon tries to plug the hole on the right side of the infield with this left-handed batter up here. Brugman, a 25-year-old rookie. The set and the pitch, and it's way outside. Volquez was not close. 2 balls, no strikes. Pretty much a straightaway stance for Brugman, bent slightly at the knees. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled off out of play to the left side. And it's worth repeating, this is just his 6th major league game. Brugman, born and raised and still lives in Chandler, Arizona. Here's a ground ball back to the mound. Volquez has it, throw to third, and they've got the runner Joyce in a rundown. Need somebody to cover third. They got it. Riddle got over there. And there's the throw to tag Joyce out as he tried to advance on a nice fielding play by Edinson Volquez. That ball tapped back to Volquez. He threw immediately to the third baseman, then to Real Muto, and then to the shortstop. So 1, 5, 2, 6 to retire Joyce.
Joyce, a veteran, you got to know, you've got to make sure that ball gets past the pitcher. With 1 out, you're running, but you got to make sure it gets past the pitcher, and it didn't.
Now on the fielder's choice, Brugman winds up at second base because the rundown was extended. And Jed Lowry will bat with 2 outs. Lowry walked and scored their run in the first inning and bats again here in the second. A's lead 1-0. The pitch. And Volquez misses high. Ball 1, no strikes. Fastball there was at 94. Volquez to the plate with a 1-0, and that's low and outside. 2 balls and no strikes. So again, in this start, really for the first time in the last 4 starts, that he has struggled with this command issue. Here's the 2-0. Outside ball 3.
He threw 95 pitches in the no-hitter. In the complete game, 9 innings, 95 pitches. He's beyond halfway there right now. 48 pitches through an inning and 2/3. And at this point, more balls than strikes. 25 balls, only 23 strikes for Volquez.
The pitch. Swing and a foul straight back. He went 7 shutout innings against the Pittsburgh Pirates his last time out last Thursday at PNC Park. Threw 111 pitches in those 7 innings, but he only gave up 3 hits. He only walked 2. And they were early in the game. 1 walk in the first, another in the second, and then nothing through 7 in the way of walks after that. The pitch is outside, ball 4. Four walks. Runners at first and second. And Ryan Healy will be the batter. I suppose it's a sign of the times when you look at the spelling of some of the names here that we're dealing with. For example, Jacob Brugman. It's not the standard spelling of Jacob. It's Jaycob. Ryan Healy is not Ryan. It's Ryon. Pitch inside for a ball. You've got Chris Davis. It's not CHRIS, it's KHRIS. Sign of the times. New spellings. Here's the 1-0. And here's a high fly ball. This is out toward right center. Yelich looking up. Stanton looking up. And it is gone. A home run for Ryan Healy. His 15th. And he now has 40 batted in. A 3-run homer and a 4-0 Oakland A's lead. Right-hand hitter powered that ball to deep right center.
Healy homered against Volquez last season when Volquez was pitching for Kansas City. One of several young players getting more and more playing time for the A's. Healy getting another start at third base. Trevor Plouffe has been relegated to the bench in recent days. Chad Pinder playing shortstop over Adam Rosales.
The pitch here to Chris Davis. Chris with a K. And ball 1.
Seeing Jacob Brugman in center field over Rajai Davis. The A's are bringing the youngsters up, giving them a chance to play, and so far today they've been very productive.
And when you look at their situation, why not? Find out what you have at the major league level in terms of production from these young players. Here comes a 2-0 pitch to Chris Davis. A swing and a hard ground ball gobbled up by Riddle, the shortstop. He throws on to first for the out. Chris Davis has been retired 6-3, but Ryan Healy with a 3-run home run and a 4-0 lead here for the A's on the Marlins Radio Network. Up for the Marlins. Marlins in the home whites and the A's in the road grays. 4 runs on 2 hits. The double by Joyce, then he was erased into that rundown. And the home run by Healy. The pitch low and outside. Ball 1 and no strikes to Marcell Ozuna. Marcell was 3 for 3 with a walk last night. He homered in last night's game along with Stanton. Here's the 1-0, and that caught the inside and a called strike. 1-1 to Ozuna. Ozuna here in the month of June is hitting .375. The pitch, and it's low. He's had 7 multiple hit games in the month of June. And 26 total for the season, tied second in the National League with Daniel Murphy. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and that's low and inside. The leader is Charlie Blackmon at Colorado with 30 multiple hit games. In the American League, it's a tie. Corey Dickerson and Starlin Castro have both hit 27 multiple hit games. There's a high fly ball hit deep into the air toward the home run sculpture by Ozuna, and it is up and away. A home run for Marcell Ozuna, number 17, RBI number 45, and the Marlins are on the scoreboard against the rookie Daniel Gossett. Ozo touched off the action on the home run sculpture. '17 puts him in a tie for 4th place in the National League in home runs. The pitch is high and a ball. The league led by Ryan Zimmerman's 19. Major leagues led by Aaron Judge with 22 home runs. Here's the 1-0. Here's a high pop-up. And down the right field line, and coming in and knocking the first baseman over is the right fielder, Matt Joyce. Goodness, a collision, but the ball's caught.
Alonso made the play, went a long way out there. It's always an easier play for the outfielder coming in. I think they're both calling for it, it looked like. Neither one stopped. Joyce barreling into the back of Alonso, who made the catch.
Alonso took a pretty good shot. Both looking up at the ball. And now just a quick check. Did Alonso get cut?
Joyce.
Yeah,
on the chin.
Joyce hit I think probably hit the top of Alonso's head. Now the athletic trainer will also check out. Yeah, right there it is. Got the top of Alonso's head. And Alonso went down and rolled over. That was a nasty collision. Neither player seeing the other. Of course, in the case of the first baseman, Alonso, he's going back to get under the pop-up. He's got his back to Joyce. Joyce coming in is looking up in the air at the pop-up. And it's amazing that Yonder Alonso held on to that ball. One out. Derek Dietrich will be the batter. And at least for now, the players involved, Matt Joyce and Yonder Alonso, have survived. Gossett's pitch. High and outside. Ball 1 to Dietrich, who's hitting .224. Dietrich got shut out last night, and he's 0 for his last 8 at-bats. The pitch over at the knees and a called strike, 1-1. Gossett's fastball will be anywhere from 92 to 94 on average. He has topped out at 96 in the minors. Here's a high fly ball down the right field line. Is this going to stay fair? It is going to go foul. Dietrich got into one, but a foul ball. He's hit 3 home runs. Dietrich getting the playing time since Martin Prado went on the disabled list. Ten doubles, couple of triples as well for Dietrich, who swings late and fouls the ball back to the left side. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gossett to Dietrich. The Marlins Foundation will be conducting the 12th annual Fox Sports Florida Fantasy Auction June 28th right here at Marlins Park. Fans and viewers have a chance to bid on once-in-a-lifetime items that are going to be up for the auction. Here's a ground ball to first, and Alonso fields this and throws to the pitcher covering for the out. And that goes 3-1 to retire Dietrich. Tyler Moore will be the batter. You'll have a chance to bid on once-in-a-lifetime travel experiences, one-of-a-kind Marlins artwork, and much more. For information, you can visit marlins.com/fantasy auction. It's held every year. It's always a great fundraiser for the foundation. That date again, June 28th. 2 outs, nobody on. Tyler Moore up. And Moore takes a strike. Tyler Moore went 3 for 4 last night with a couple of doubles, and he knocked in 2 runs in the 8-1 Marlins win. And since Moore was injured, Tyler Moore has made, with today's start, 10 starts at first base. In his first 9, we'll have to see what he does today. He's hit .364 with 3 home runs and 4 doubles, and he's knocked in 11 with the 12 hits he's had. The pitch is swung on and missed.
Moore's been great, but we know Moore was playing like an all-star before he got hurt. If all goes according to plan, this may be the last game that Moore misses. Justin's going to play for Jupiter tonight up in Port St. Lucie, and if all goes well, he'll fly with us to Atlanta tomorrow and be activated Friday.
This ball is hit high into the air to left. Going back, Davis at the track, looking up, and it's up and away. A home run for Tyler Moore, number 5. So the big first baseman continues to do a terrific job filling in for Justin Moore in every department.
How about that? The two of them now have combined for 21 homers. Moore was leading the league with his 16 when he went down, and Moore just on fire.
Number 5 for Tyler Moore, his 17th run batted in. 2 home runs served up here in the inning by Daniel Gossett, and that changes the look of the scoreboard, doesn't it? Now a 2-run lead for the A's, 4-2. Here's the pitch, and a called strike. JT Riddle. He's been filling in nicely for Adeiny Echeverria. Riddle batting .262, 3 homers, 9 doubles. Here's the pitch, and he slams a ball in the air toward the gap in right center. It is going to be chased down and caught by Brugman, the center fielder. Good job, good jump. Stayed with it and made the catch. 2 runs on a pair of home runs, Ozuna and Moore. Now at the end of 2 innings of play, Athletics 4, Marlins 2. You're listening to the Marlins Radio Network.
Ozuna and Tyler Moore and the Marlins have clawed back into this ball game. It's 4-2 Oakland as we go to the 3rd today. Now Edinson Volquez will look to hit his stride. He'll face Alonso, Vogt, and Pinder. 5, 6, 7 in the A's lineup here in the 3rd inning. Volquez threw 2 innings, having thrown 55 pitches already, only 26 of them for strikes. Alonso, the lefty hitter, and he takes outside and low, ball 1. Yonder worked a walk his first time up. 1 for 3, drew a walk last night. Currently leading vote getter at first base in AL All-Star balloting. 1-0 to the UM alum. It's hit high in the air to center, sending Yelich back. He's got room, though, short of the track, just to the left of dead center, makes the play, and Volquez retires the first man here in the 3rd. Before Stephen Vogt bats, we'll pause for station identification along the Marlins radio network. We're talking about Yonder Alonso maybe being headed to the All-Star game here at Marlins Park this year. Here's Stephen Vogt, the A's catcher, an All-Star both of the last 2 seasons. He drew a bases-loaded walk to start the scoring in the first inning. Volquez fires inside corner, knee-high, strike 1 called, first pitch fastball. Vogt's production down this year from the last couple of years. Averaged 16 homers, 63 RBIs the last 2 seasons. So far this year, he's hit 4 homers, knocked in 18 as he pulls one foul toward the A's dugout. He had a total of 51 doubles the last 2 years. Only 7 so far this season. Got just 226 coming in. A's with 4 runs on 2 hits. They've been aided by 4 walks from Volquez. Marlins 2 runs on 2 hits. A couple of solo home runs. We're in the top of the 3rd. 3 men on the right side of the infield defending against Vogt, lefty batter. Volquez, the 0-2, is in the dirt. Marlins hit the road after this one. We'll play 3 in Atlanta this weekend. Got our first look at the new park, SunTrust Park. Back home Monday to start a 10-game homestand. 3 against the Nationals, 4 against the Cubs, and then 3 against the Mets. 1-2 pitch. Volquez to Vogt, and it's pulled foul past first base coach Marcus Jensen down the right field line. Cubs are going to be here June 22nd, June 23rd, June 24th, and June 25th. The 4-game series against the defending World Series champs. Get your tickets at marlins.com/tickets. Vogt was 1 for 4 with an RBI against the Marlins in Oakland last month. Didn't play last night. 1-2 is in the dirt from Volquez. Edinson Volquez in search of his 4th win in his last 4 starts. After he began the year 0-7. 0-7, a 4.82 ERA those first 9 times out. 3-0, a 0.41 ERA in his last 3 outings. He's allowed 4 runs, 3 earned so far in this one. His scoreless inning streak ended at 16 in the first. 2-2 to Vogt is popped up, short left. Out goes Riddle, in comes Ozuna. The left fielder's under it, and Marcel makes the one-hand play. So 2 fly ball outs to start the 3rd inning, and a chance for Volquez to pick up a much-needed 1-2-3 inning here, trying to get that pitch count a little bit more manageable. Chad Pinder is the A's shortstop. Struck out in the first. He'll bat now. Pinder 0 for 2 hit by a pitch last night. He's got some good power, brought up from AAA Nashville on April 16th. A lot of youngsters on this A's ball club. Pinder takes inside the ball. Pinder, Ryan Healy, Jacob Brugman. Today we're getting a look at Daniel Gossett making his big league debut on the mound. All a big part of the A's future. 1-0 to Pinder is in there for a strike. Expected to form the core group moving forward for this A's ball club. We've got a couple other infielders, Franklin Barreto and Matt Chapman, also likely to be brought up in the next month or 2. 1-1 to Pinder, swing and a miss. At some point, catcher Bruce Maxwell, who was up earlier in there, he might be back. A's has some very good high-end talent. AA Midland, AAA Nashville right now. It feels as though the future's bright. Nobody on, 2 outs, 1-2 pitch, a breaking ball in the dirt. 2-2 to Pinder. Rajay Davis is out in the on-deck circle now. Matt Joyce due to hit next, but Rajay Davis is on deck. Joyce may be done after that collision in shallow right field with Yonder Alonso in the last half inning. 2-2, 2-out pitch to Pinder over the outside edge. A fastball at 93 miles per hour. Pinder called looking, and Volquez got exactly what he needed. A quick and easy 1, 2, 3, top of the third. So midway through the third, Miami this afternoon. It's the A's 4, the Marlins 2 on the Marlins Radio Network. Third at Marlins Park this afternoon. Defensive change for Oakland as we anticipated. Rajai Davis enters the ball game. Matt Joyce comes out. Davis takes over in center field with Jacob Brugman sliding over to right. Edinson Volquez leading off the third, takes in the dirt, ball one from the right-hander Daniel Gossett. So far so good for this 24-year-old in his big league debut. Not a big guy. Gossett 6 feet tall, 177 pounds, a slight right-hander. Had a nice year last year, single A, double A, and triple A. Stockton, Midland, and Nashville. Volquez takes too low, 2-0. Volquez is 4 for 19 as a hitter this year. Gossett last season really broke out, 10-6, a 2.69 ERA and 27 starts. Joe to Volquez, a swing and a miss. Started this year at triple A. Didn't get off to a great start, pitching very well lately. 3-1, a 2.25 ERA in his last 5 starts. And his manager Bob Melvin said it's nice to bring a young pitcher up when he's pitching very well. As Volquez takes inside, and it's 3-1. Top of the order, D. Gordon waits on deck. Bob Melvin saying, I'd like to get a guy here when he's been feeling good, when he's been pitching well. Timing's good in this case. 3-1. Volquez taking all the way, and he watches ball 4, low and away. So Gossett, who had thrown 20 strikes, only 8 balls in the first 2 innings, walks the pitcher on 5 pitches to begin the third. And now we'll see if the Marlins can do some damage. Top of the order, Gordon, Stanton, and Yelich coming up. Gossett was supposed to make his start for Nashville on Saturday, but he got word before the game that night that he was the man who's going to get brought up to the big leagues to replace Andrew Triggs in the rotation. Triggs out with a hip strain now. D bounced to second, leading off in the first inning, and he checks the swing, fouls one off into the seats above the third base dugout. So Gossett actually pitching on his 8th day, extra rest since his last AAA start. They had him throw an intense side session Sunday, trying to keep him sharp. Pitchers normally don't mind that 1 extra day of rest. When you get into 2, 3 extra days, really takes him out of the routine. He was 1 for 5, knocked in a big run last night. Here's a slow bounding ball towards second. Lowry charges. They'll get the force out at second base. Volquez erased. No chance for 2. Ball was in too softly, and you got D running. So Gordon's at first on the fielder's choice. Volquez out 4-6. 1 out here in the Marlins third for Giancarlo. See if D wants to run. Gotta make sure you're gonna make it when you take that chance with Stanton at the plate. D 21 steals. He is third in the major leagues in stolen bases. The Reds' Billy Hamilton leads the way with 28. Trey Turner's got 22 in Washington. Pitch to Stanton, a swing and a miss. Stanton struck out on 3 pitches in the first inning. Hit a home run, drove in a couple, scored twice last night. He's been a red-hot hitter since moving into the 2 spot in the batting order. D held at first by Alonso. Gossett sets the 0-1, and Stanton takes outside. Stanton began batting second in Oakland May 23rd, the first of those 2 games we played at the Coliseum against the A's. He's at .354. Marlins have gone 12-6 in the 18 games he's batted second. Throw to first, D-back standing. He's got an 1147 OPS since moving into the 2 spot in the batting order. He's been more selective. He's been using the whole field. He's not just been hitting home runs, he's been hitting his singles, hitting his doubles. Started to get hot about a week before the move was made. May 17th against the Astros. You can point to that game as a turnaround for Giancarlo. Gossett long hold, the 1-1, and Stanton bounces one through the left side. That's a base hit. D to second, he'll hang on there. Took an aggressive turn, but no chance to move up. So Stanton, who's batting .341 in his last 24 into this one, now 1 for 2 today. Tying men are on for Christian Yelich. Yelich is the one guy the Marlins really need to get going. Bounced to second in his first AB this afternoon. Just 2 for 11 against Oakland pitching this year. Hitting .227 over his last 27 games. And on the season, boy, it's surprising to see Yelich's batting average in the low 260s, but that's where it is right now. Yelich at .262 with the 0 for 1. Gordon at second, Stanton at first, 1 out. Marlins trailing 4-2, bottom of the 3rd. Gossett fires. Yelich takes in the dirt. Good smothering stop by the catcher. Vogt moving to his right. Saving you money on car insurance has been in Geico's wheelhouse for over 75 years. So after the game, get a quote at geico.com. Geico, so easy a caveman could do it. Daniel Gossett, a day he'll never forget, making his big league debut today. He's got a lot of friends and family here. Right-hander looks back at second. The 1-0 pitch now to Yelich. That's over the outside edge and a strike. His mom and dad, Stacy and Lee, are in from South Carolina. His wife Presley is here. His in-laws parents are here. Daniel Gossett's high school baseball coach from Burns High School in Duncan, South Carolina. He's here. His hometown pastor made the trip. Pickoff attempt at second base. D's back standing as a shortstop. Pinder moved in to take the throw. Daniel Gossett is the 26th pitcher to start against the Marlins in his major league debut all time. This is the Marlins' 25th National League season, so it happens on average about once a year. Last was the Phillies' Jared Eichhoff in August of 2015. 1-1 to Yelich is lined out toward right center. Going to get down for a base hit. That is scored. D coming around third. Stanton's digging for third. It's an RBI single for Christian Yelich, and the Marlins have trailed 4-0 at one point. Now back within a run at 4-3 in the 3rd. Yelich with his 28th run batted in. Men at the corners. Still only 1 out for the red-hot Marcell Ozuna. Ozuna homered into the home run sculpture leading off the 2nd inning. His 17th long ball, RBI number 45. Ozuna all over the league leaderboards. Now tied for 4th in the league at homers, tied for 10th in runs batted in. He is 4th in the National League in batting at .335. His 82 hits, tied for 2nd most in the league. He's now 3rd in the league in total bases. Gossett's pitch is pulled foul, a chopper that bounces over the head of Stanton, who ducks out of the way, leading to 3rd base. Ozuna 8th in the league in slugging percentage. 2nd in the league in multiple hit games, tied with Daniel Murphy of the Nationals. Behind only Charlie Blackmon in Colorado. He was 3 for 3 with a walk and a home run last night. He's homered his only at bat so far today, having a big series. Chance to tie it up, maybe do some more with Stanton at 3rd, Yelich at 1st, 1 out. The 0-1, that's in the dirt. Talking about pitchers who've made their big league debuts as starters against the Marlins. A couple of very interesting names in that you know them as closers, very accomplished major league closers, but they made their major league debuts as starters against Miami. How about Joe Nathan with the Giants back in 1999? Threw 7 innings of 4-hit shutout ball against the Marlins in his major league debut. 1-1 to Ozuna, fastball away, ball 2. And how about Eric Gagne as a Dodger in 1999? Gagne 6 innings of 2-hit shutout ball, and no decision in a game the Marlins won 2-1. Jorge De La Rosa's had a good big league career. He made his first major league start as a Brewer against the Marlins back in 2004. Fouled back to the net, 2-2 to Ozuna. Jeff Locke, now a Marlin. He made his major league debut for Pittsburgh against the Marlins. Was a 3-0 loser in September of 2011. Last 4 pitchers to start against the Marlins, their major league debut, all picked up wins. That bodes well for Daniel Gossett. Well, the bind he's in right now does not. Leading 4-3 here in the third, a run in, men at first and third, 1 out. Here's a 2-2 now to Ozuna, and it's outside and low, counts full with JT Realmuto on deck. Those last 4 pitchers to beat the Marlins as starters in their big league debut. Mentioned Garrett Eichhoff for the Phillies in 2015. Before that, Alex Colomé, now closing for the Rays. He did in 2013. Tyler Skaggs with Arizona in 2012. Patrick Corbin with Arizona earlier in that 2012 season as well. 3-2 to Ozuna, swinging a pop-up foul back into the seats behind the first base dugout. Gossett now up to 47 pitches, working a lot harder in this third inning than he did in the first couple. A 9-pitch first. Got through the second on 19. Now he's thrown 19 already here in the third, having recorded only the 1 out. Marlins with a run on 2 hits and a walk to this point. Stanton at third, Yelich at first. Infield sets up looking for 2. Stanton dancing off of third aggressively. There goes Yelich, 3-2, a bouncer up the middle, right at the second baseman, who steps on the back late, throws to first. Ozuna's out, but Stanton scores. Starting the runner gets the Marlins a run, and we're all tied at 4 in the third. Had Yelich not been in motion, that would have been an easy 4-3 double play for Lowry. He fielded the ball right near the bag. He lunged at second with his foot, but Yelich got there ahead of him. Ozuna with his second RBI in the game. We're right back where we started now, all knotted up. Ozuna's on the fielder's choice. Stanton scores the second run in the inning. I'm sorry, Ozuna's out 4-3. Yelich at second base. Credit the Big Bear with the run batted in. Here's Realmuto, tie-breaking man at second, takes a strike. JT popped to the first baseman Alonso in the second inning. That was the ball where Alonso and Joyce collided out in short right field. Joyce has since left the ball game. 4 runs, 4 hits Miami, 4 runs, 2 hits Oakland. Last of the third. There's a bluff towards second by Gossett. Things started very well for this right-hander in his big league debut. Set down the side 1-2-3 on 9 pitches in the first inning. Got a sac bunt down in the top of the second. And the A's taken to a 4-0 lead through 2 innings, or through 2 at-bats, midway through the second. The 0-1 to Realmuto is in the air to center. Back goes Rajay Davis. He's onto the warning track, near the wall, short of the wall, makes the catch, and the side's retired. Dead center, Davis, big part of this ballpark, went all the way back toward the wall, tracked it down, and that's all for Miami in the third. But another productive inning for the Marlins against Gossett. They score 2 runs on 2 hits. They leave a man. We go to the 4th in a 4-4 ball game. The Marlins and the A's on the Marlins Radio Network. to a 4-0 lead. Look at Rajai Davis for the first time, then the pitcher Gossett, and the top of the order Brugman here in the A's fourth. A's lost 3 of 4 to the Rays in St. Pete to start this road trip. So they're 1-4 in the trip, which wraps up this afternoon. Davis checks his swing, takes inside in the ball. They head home for a very challenging 8-game homestand after this one. How about 4 against the AL East leading Yankees, and then 4 against the AL West leading Astros. 1-0 to Davis is inside the ball. Rajai Davis seeing his first action in this series. He's hitting .213 in 50 games, 10 doubles, a couple of triples, 2 homers, 12 batted in. Right-handed hitter, was a postseason hero with the Indians last year. Volquez has fallen behind. Now the 2-0 pitch, and Davis takes in tight. That's ball 3. Davis has started 43 games in center field for the A's this year, but in his 12th season, he's got his lowest ever batting average, his lowest ever OBP. This is a man whose game is all about getting on base. He led the league with 43 stolen bases a season ago as an Indian. And there's a strike to him. He's averaged 39 steals over the last 8 years. Batting just .185 right now over his last 16 games. His slide began with an 0 for 4 in the game Volquez started in Oakland on May 24th. Pitch is fouled back over the screen, count full now to Davis. It was Rajai Davis in the bottom of the 8th in Game 7 of the World Series last year, with the Indians trailing 6-3, who hit a 3-run homer off of Aroldis Chapman to tie the game. There's called strike 3 to Davis. Volquez comes all the way back after falling behind 3-0. The strikeout for Volquez, number 3 in the ball game. 1 out in the 4th. He's retired 5 in a row now. Here's the pitcher Gossett coming up. All those Cubs fans after the Davis home run thought, are you kidding me? We've waited 108 years. We're in the bottom of the 8th with the lead. And Rajai Davis, not the guy expected a 3-run home run. Davis hits one off of Aroldis Chapman. Gossett takes a strike. Game wound up an extra inning. Cubs eventually won it. Ben Zobrist, the go-ahead RBI hit. And you know the rest of the story. 4-1 to Gossett is in there for called strike 2. So Volquez is finally settling in. And finally now more strikes than balls. He had 76 pitches through 3 1/3, 39 strikes, 37 balls. The 0-2 to the pitcher, and Gossett fouls it off to stay alive. Dave mentioned Gossett is swinging the Jacob Brugman bat. Gossett and Brugman were roommates at AAA Nashville. Brugman called up to the big leagues last Friday. The very next day, Gossett gets news he's coming to the show. So there's an available apartment in Nashville if you're looking for one. 0-2 to Gossett. A breaking ball drops low. Marlins baseball brought to you in part by Gillette. 40 million Americans wake up to Gillette Shave, and Gillette's working to bring you America's #1 shave at lower prices. Go to GilletteOnDemand.com and get your 4th order free. 1-2 from Volquez, fouled off again. Gossett hanging in that fastball at 93 miles per hour. GilletteOnDemand.com to get your 4th order free. 4-4, top of the 4th. Marlins and the A's, who meet once every 3 years through the magic of interleague play. That's outside a low 2-2 now to Gossett. Top order Brugman on deck. This year had the rare home and home. 2 in Oakland, 2 here at Marlins Park. Marlins trying to make it 3 of 4 from the A's this season if they can win here today. Otherwise they have to settle for a split. 2-2 pitch bounced over the mound. Near the bag at second, Gordon's got it. Throws to first. He pulls more off the bag, and that'll likely be the first major league hit for Daniel Gossett. He was behind second base on the outfield grass, and he made the long sidearm throw. Had it been right on the money, he probably would have gotten Gossett. He doesn't run particularly well as a pitcher, but he pulled more. It wasn't a routine play by any stretch, and it will indeed be an infield hit. Gossett's first major league hit. So he picks up his first big league strikeout, getting Stanton in the first inning today in his first major league start. Now he's got his first major league hit. He's got a couple of souvenir baseballs to take home with him. He'd like his first big league win more than anything. Jacob Brugman with his Nashville roomie at first base. One out, takes low on the ball. Brugman debuted Friday at the Trop against the Rays. Went 0 for 4 in his first major league game. Lost the ball in the catwalks at the Trop that fell for a triple. So wasn't a debut he'd like to remember. 1-0 pitches, popped foul off to the left, but he bounced back. They played a doubleheader the next day. He had 2 hits in both games of that twin bill. His first ever major league hit came off Erasmo Ramirez. Game 1 of the Saturday doubleheader against the Rays. So 2 hits in both games of the doubleheader on Saturday. He had 2 more hits against the Rays on Sunday. 6 for 12 in those 3 games, but 0 for 4 in the series opener here last night, and 0 for 2 so far today. There's a swing and a miss by Brugman. A ball and 2 strikes. Volquez pulled the string. Fastball, changeup, curveball pitcher. Volquez has always had a terrific changeup. Brugman, a lefty hitter, awaiting the 1-2 from Volquez. And he lines one over third base. Softly, it's a foul ball. Just barely to the left of that foul line. A's with a run in the first and 3 in the second to grab a 4-0 lead. But the Marlins put 2 up in the second, 2 more in the third. So 4-4 our score, top of the 4th. With the roof closed and the windows closed here at Marlins Park on this hot, humid Wednesday afternoon. Had some rain driving in this morning. Some ominous clouds in the neighborhood. Happy to enjoy this ball game in climate-controlled comfort at Marlins Park this afternoon. The infield sets up looking for 2. First baseman Moore doesn't hold the runner right on the bag, though he's near the bag. The pitcher Gossets off to literally a 1-step lead from first. 1-2 again to Brugman. He reaches out, pokes from the air, shallow left center. Yelich coming hard, still coming, and he'll get there. Makes the play for the second out. Things up to Jet Lowry. Lowry was 6 for 8 with 4 doubles against the Marlins in Oakland last month. Went 0 for 4 last night. He's walked and scored twice in this ball game. Tough out. Lowry's 33 now. Out of Stanford, was a comp pick after the first round by the Red Sox back in 2005, taken 45th overall, now in his 10th big league season. 3 men on the right side of the infield defending against Lowry, and there's a big swing and a miss. Strike 1. Lowry's played for the Red Sox, for the Astros. He was with Oakland in 2013 and 2014. Then back to Houston in 2015. Back to Oakland last year. He's in the final year of a 3-year, $23 million contract that includes an option for next season. With Gossett at first, 2 down, the 0-1 pitch. Lowry takes just a little bit low, maybe a whisker outside as well. Ball and a strike. Edson Volquez working with JT Realmuto this afternoon. JT, who caught the Volquez no-hitter here 2 starts ago. First no-hitter JT's caught in his big league career, is a milestone achievement for him as well. 1-1. Lowry takes the dirt. JT has been a very busy man behind the plate for the Marlins this year. This is game number 64 for Miami. Start number 52 for Realmuto. In all of baseball, only the Angels' Martin Maldonado has started more games behind the plate. He started 54. JT now tied with Austin Hedges of the Padres and Yadier Molina of the Cardinals with 52 starts this season. He is 4th in the majors in innings caught. It's been a heavy workload for Realmuto. 2-1. Volquez to Lowry in the air, center field, backing up on it. Yelich still going back onto the track, leaps at the wall, can't catch it. It's off the wall. Gossett not running well. He's going to be waved. Stanton fires in toward the infield, and it's going to be juggled. The run's going to score on a double by Lowry. It's 5-4 A's. Had the Marlins executed that relay perfectly, they might have had a chance on Gossett, who was not running particularly well. And I think only because there were 2 outs did the third base coach Chip Hale take a chance and send Gossett there. But had Stanton's relay throw to Riddle been handled cleanly, and had JT made a strong throw to the plate, they might well have had Gossett. So Lowry continues to torment the Marlins. That's his 7th hit in 13 at bats, his 5th double, and his 4th RBI against Miami pitching this year. Oakland's back on top in the 4th. Now Ryan Healy, who has the big swing in this game, a 3-run homer off Volquez in the 2nd. Healy hitting .310 in 36 games, going back to May the 4th after a slow start. He's really hit his stride. He's got some good pop. Right-handed batter with Lowry at 2nd, 2 down. First baseman Moore is way off the line. There's a strike called to Healy. Moore is nearly halfway to second base. Stanton is way over into right center field. They're completely giving away the right field line to Healy. Outfield deep, particularly Yelich in center. Yelich and Ozuna straight away in center and left. Volquez's 92nd pitch, a ground ball into the hole at short. Diving play, Riddle springs to his feet, throws to first, gets his man, saves a run. That's it for the A's in the 4th, but they're back in front. An infield hit by the pitcher Gossett, and a 2-out RBI double by Jed Lowry. To the last of the 4th now. It's the Athletics 5, the Marlins 4 on the Marlins Radio Network.
The ballpark.
Don't be upset, okay?
Players head to MLB Central.
I need to be here.
The morning show where baseball's best jump on board all season.
I got to tip my cap.
Weekday mornings, 10 a.m. Eastern, only on MLB Network.
It's Sunday, June 25th. The Marlins and the Cubs at 1:10. Marlins celebrating the 25th anniversary of that great movie, A League of Their Own. Get your tickets at marlins.com/special events. Derek Dietrich is 0 for 1 in the ball game. 0 for 5 with an RBI in the series. Made a costly error in the first inning here today as well. Pitch on the way, and Gossett misses outside in the ball. Got an update for you today on Martin Prado. Marlins third baseman's on the DL for the 2nd time this year with that right hamstring issue. Note Dietrich is too low. Dietrich today is making his 43rd start, and this is the team's 64th game. He has now started 40 of the 64 at third base. Prado on the DL twice, but Prado nearing a return to action. 2-0 pitch to Derek. That's outside corner for a strike. Martin Prado is going to begin a rehab assignment with Jupiter tomorrow. And Don Mattingly told us yesterday the expectation is he'll probably play about 7 or so games. 2-1 pitch is lined off the glove of the third baseman. Healy rolls into short left field. Dietrich's aboard to start the Marlins' fourth. A low line drive. They hit the heel of the glove of Healy. And Derek Dietrich is on the tying run for Tyler Moore. Hit a home run, his 5th of the season, back in the 2nd inning. Dietrich will be credited with a base hit. What a job Tyler Moore has done in Justin Bour's absence. We mentioned earlier in the broadcast that Bour's going to play for Jupiter tonight, and if all goes well, he'll fly to Atlanta with us tomorrow and be activated to play against the Braves Friday night. Moore is swing and a miss. One of the points that Don Mattingly has made in talking about Moore is whenever Bour comes back, all these at-bats that Moore has gotten over the last week and a half or so are going to really help him out when he returns to the bench and he gets those pinch hitting opportunities, the occasional starts. It's good to string some at-bats together, get your regular work in. Takes over the outside corner now, and he's down in the count 0-2 facing the right-hander Daniel Gossett, making his big league debut this afternoon. Dietrich held at first base by Alonso. Up the middle, Lowry and Pinder at double play depth. 2-strike pitch, and Moore takes outside. Tyler Moore, since replacing Justin Bour, this is 10th consecutive start in Bour's absence. He's gone 13 for 34. He's hitting .382 since Bour went down. 4 doubles, 4 homers, and 12 runs batted in 10 games. Here's the 1-2 now. Moore reaches out, rolls one slowly to third, and again it's booted by Healy. Everybody's safe. Healy ranging to his left, had it roll right up his arm. That one ought to be an E5, and the Marlins have the first 2 men on here in the 4th inning for JT Riddle. And with the pitcher spot due next, Tomas Talise has come out on deck. Marlins have a couple of right-handers, Dustin McGowan and Kyle Bearclaw, loosening in the bullpen. So it looks like the pitch count is going to knock Volquez out of this ball game early this afternoon. So a golden opportunity for the Marlins here. JT Riddle, who's been a good run producer himself, 21 RBIs and limited at bats, all things considered. But Dietrich at second, Moore at first. Riddle's been playing at shortstop with Echeverria sidelined for the 2nd time by an oblique strain. Etch nearing a rehab assignment as well. JT bunts one, first base side, foul, strike 1. Riddle this afternoon is making his 33rd start of the season at shortstop, his 30th in a row, beginning May 13th, shortly after the Etch injury. Remember when Etch first got hurt, Riddle missed a couple of games. He had injured his thumb taking some early afternoon ground balls, doing some extra work. So he missed a handful of games. Marlins very short-handed on the infield. No Martin Prado, no Adeiny Echeverria. Miguel Rojas has been sidelined. Rojas the farthest out of any of them. Etch expected to begin a rehab assignment on Saturday if all goes according to plan. 0-1 to Riddle, bunted now back toward the mound. Gossett up with it to third for 1, and that's all they'll get. Healy thought about trying to get the double play back at first base, but he held on to the baseball. So Riddle's out in the fielder's choice, could not sacrifice the man to third. Good play by Gossett, didn't hesitate there. Gets the lead man Dietrich 1-5. Moore takes second, and now Tomas Talise to pinch hit here in the 4th inning. Talise, who was brought up from AAA for the 2nd time this year when Bour went on the disabled list. He's got 1 hit and 6 at bats for the Marlins. As a pinch hitter, he's 1 for 5. So Volquez with a shorter than anticipated afternoon here today, although he had to work very hard in his 4 innings of work. Pitch to Talise is taken for a strike. This is a switch hitter batting from the left side against the right-hander Daniel Gossett, who just threw his 61st pitch. Much more efficient than Volquez today. 61 pitches, 41 strikes for Gossett. This 24-year-old born in Lyman, South Carolina, northwest of Greenville. 0-1 to Talese is hammered left center field. Rajay Davis racing back toward the home run sculpture, and it's off the wall. Extra bases. Here's Moore with the tying run. They're going to hold the runner Riddle at third base. It's a pinch hit RBI double by Tomas Talese, and we're even again, 5-5. Talese going the other way, powering that one off the auxiliary scoreboard underneath the home run sculpture out in left center field. And that is going to be it for Gossett. Lefty Daniel Coulombe has been up in the bullpen for the A's. Here comes manager Bob Melvin, and Gossett's big league debut. Kind of a mixed bag for him. He will not get a win. He's got a chance to even lose this game potentially if the Marlins take the lead here in the fourth inning. We'll see how things play out. Gossett heads back to the first base dugout with his first major league start now in the rearview mirror. We'll take a break for this pitching change. Bottom of the fourth. We seesaw back and forth. Now tied at 5. The Marlins and the Athletics on the Marlins Radio Network.
Welcome back to MLB Tonight as we go inside the park to see Stephen Vogt go to the mound for a chat with Sonny Gray.
Hey, this guy tears the cover off the four-seamer. Let's throw the sinker.
I'm not so sure you want to do that.
Hey, you think I should go with the curve?
Nah.
Slider?
I think that's a better way to go.
Inside or out?
I'd make him reach for it.
Sounds good.
You guys really know your stuff.
MLB Tonight brings you closer to the game.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
He has walked 8 and struck out 17. Coulombe takes over for Daniel Gossett, done after 3 1/3 in his major league debut. 5 runs so far, 6 hits allowed. Gordon with the tie-breaking man at third, Riddle. Talese at second. 5-5 game, bottom of the fourth. Fouls one off, strike one. Our Daniel Coulombe profile brought to you by Bennett Auto Supply, providing quality auto parts at the best price in Florida for over 60 years. If you need parts for your vehicle, remember to drive with the leader, Bennett Auto Supply. The infield's in at the corners. Alonso at first, Healy at third. Runners lead. The 0-1 to D is lined into left, base hit. Here comes the go-ahead man, Riddle. Talese will be held. D. Gordon with his first hit in the ball game, and the Marlins have grabbed a 6-5 lead in the fourth. He had a big RBI single in the 5th inning last night to snap a 1-1 tie. Marlins went on to win 8-1. Now he snaps a 5-5 tie in the fourth here today. Going the other way against the left-hander. Talese to third. Here comes Stanton. Men at the corners. There is no right-hander up in the bullpen, so this lefty's going to stay on to face Stanton. You've got another lefty, Yelich, on deck. And a couple of righties, Ozuna and Realmuto would follow. So this is a favorable matchup for the Marlins. Stanton has had great success against lefty pitching this year. He's hitting .385 against left-handers, and he takes ball one up high. Stanton with a .1441 OPS against lefty pitching. 5 doubles, 6 homers, 17 RBIs, and 39 ABs. Marlins 1-point trail 4-0. Now leads 6-5 in the fourth. Is Stanton a big swing and a miss, 1-1. Coulomb is a 3-pitch pitcher, and he uses each of the 3 pitches about the same amount of the time. He's got a fastball, a slider, and a curveball. Fastball usually 90-91. Slider mid-80s, curveball about 80 miles per hour. Out of the stretch, the 1-1 to Stanton's too low. Talise at third base, D. Gordon, the Marlins runner at first. Marlins with 2 in the second, 2 in the third, and 2 so far here in the fourth to rally from an early 4-0 deficit. It's 6-5, fourth inning. Miami 6 runs and 7 hits. The bat staying hot. Coulomb from the third base side of the rubber. Step off and a snap throw to first. Diving back D, who has stolen 21 bases, caught only 3 times this year. He's got the pant legs pulled up high for this Wednesday afternoon ball game. Showing off the faux stirrups. 2-1. Stanton takes outside and low, ball 3. D would love to force Coulomb to have some divided attention with Stanton at the plate. About Coulomb, my focus is squarely on the man at home plate. Giancarlo do a lot more damage with that bat than D can by stealing second base here. He's fallen behind. The 3-1. D's running. Pitch is low and away, ball 4. So Coulomb has allowed 2 straight men to reach. Now the bases are loaded for Christian Yelich. We got another lefty-lefty matchup. Now Stanton's had great success against lefties. We told you that. Marcell Ozuna, who's on deck, has had great success against lefties. Got John Axford up in the bullpen now. If we get as far as Ozuna, we'll probably see Axford. Here comes the A's pitching coach now, Kurt Young, out of the dugout to have a word with Coulomb. Got to be careful here with Yelich. Yelich in the past has handled lefty pitching pretty well. But this season, the bottom line numbers for Yelich are not as good as they've been at times in his career. And against lefties, hitting just .217. 13 hits and 60 at-bats. He's got a great chance here with Talise third, Gordon at second, Stanton at first, bases loaded, 1 out. Yelich an RBI single last time, 1 for 2 today. Up the middle, the A's double play depth. Healy is even with the bag off the line at third. Same with Alonso at first. Pitch to Yelich is outside and low, ball 1. Coulomb falls behind. Kyle Bearclaw, the only man up in the Marlins bullpen now. Looks like we'll get Bearclaw for the 5th inning. Both teams into the bullpens early today. Runners lead from first, second, and third. The 1-0 Coulomb to Yelich, bouncing ball foul, off to the right. Perry Hill lets it go down the line. A ball and a strike. The Marlins trailed 4-0 at one point. Marcell Ozuna solo home run in the second to begin the comeback. That's our drive of the game, powered by South Florida Ford. Go further. A lot of big hits since. Coulomb stays out of the stretch, now steps off the rubber. These Marlins have been swinging hot bats lately. Remember, they started the year 14-27 in their first 41 games. They've gone 14-8 since. So 14 wins in the first 41. Now 14 wins in the last 22. 1-1, runs inside and clipped Yelich in the hip. He's hit by the pitch to force in another run. 7-5 Miami. So the left-hander Coulomb has allowed 2 lefties to reach and a righty in between. He's faced 3. He's yet to record an out. And that well may be the end of the line for Coulomb. Bob Melvin is to the top step. Well, he's actually on the second step of the dugout. Now here he comes. And Coulomb's day is going to be a short one as well. He faces 3 men, allows an RBI single to D. Gordon. He walks Stanton. Then with the bases loaded, he hits Christian Yelich. And suddenly, Marlins lead this ball game 7-5, and they're a long way from done here. Bases loaded, still only 1 out. And the sizzling hot Marcell Ozuna coming up against John Axford, who's coming into the ball game to pitch for the A's. We'll take a break. 7-5 Miami, last of the 4th on the Marlins Radio Network. Axford, who had spent most of this year on the disabled list, came back just before the Marlins got to Oakland in late May. This is his 11th appearance. John Axford, who in 2011 led the National League with 46 saves for the Brewers, saved 35 for Milwaukee the next year. This year he's got no record of 5.40 ERA in 10 innings of work. 7 runs, 6 earned on a dozen hits. He's walked 6 and struck out 11. Facing Marcell Ozuna, who's homered and grounded out. He's knocked in a couple in the game. Bases loaded, 1 out. Pitch on the way, and Ozuna takes over the outside black. Strike 1. Axford, 144 career big league saves. These A's have a bullpen full of closers. A lot of pitchers with significant closing experience. Nobody more saves than Axford, though. The 0-1 to Ozuna is a breaking ball, grounded to shortstop, might be 2. Pinder to Lowry for 1, back to first. Axford gets the job done, closing out the Marlins' 4th. But the damage is done. Miami pushes across 3 runs in the inning, 3 hits, an error, a walk, hit batsman. 2 men left. We move to the 5th now. It's the Marlins 7, the A's 5 on the Marlins Radio Network.
Wednesday night showcase. Reigning NL MVP Chris Bryant and the world champ Cubs hit the Big Apple for a primetime showdown with Michael Conforto and the Mets. Smoltz and Costas are on the call for MLB Network's Wednesday night showcase, live at 7 Eastern.
Now Kyle Bearclaw. RBI Baseball 2017 is out now for Xbox One, PS4, iOS, and Android. Enjoy fast-paced pick-up and play MLB action packed with all your favorite MLB teams, players, ballparks, and more. Your breakout MLB season is here. You better come ready to play. Learn more at rbigame.com. In steps Chris Davis. We'll give stations a chance to identify themselves in just a moment. See what Bearclaw does. Here comes pitch number 1 from Kyle, the big, strong right-hander, and he got Davis to chase. Strike 1. Let's pause for station identification on the Marlins Radio Network. Bearclaw's next pitch is wide. 1 ball and 1 strike to Chris Davis. Davis so far has reached on an error by the third baseman Derek Dietrich. That was back in the first inning, and he ended the second inning by grounding out the shortstop. Here's another chance for the third baseman Dietrich, and he has it and exchanges, and I guess didn't have a good grip and did not make a throw to first base. Just a little slow bouncer toward third. Dietrich came in, charged the ball, and couldn't see what went wrong here. He picked it up, and on the exchange My guess is he didn't have a good grip.
And they go base hit there for Davis.
That is
a tad generous.
Yes. I like the term, a tad generous. Here's Yonder Alonso. He's walked and flied out in the takes outside and ball one. Bearclaw's 28th appearance. He has a win and a loss and a 3.62 earned run average in the 27 1/3 innings he's worked coming into this outing. He's allowed 22 hits. He's walked 22. Foul ball straight back. That's the alarming stat. He has 29 strikeouts in the 27 1/3. When he's right and in the zone, he's as tough as can be. 1 ball and 1 strike to Yonder Alonso, left-handed batter. A 1-1 coming from Bearclaw, and it's taken on the outside, a called strike. That was an off-speed pitch, a changeup. Their starter, Daniel Gossett, went 3 1/3, gave up 7 runs, 6 earned on 6 hits and a walk, and he had a strikeout, and he gave up a couple of home runs. 1-1 and a throw to first base. He gave up solo home runs to Ozuna and Moore in the 2nd inning. Then it was the troublesome 4th inning that chased him. Bearclaw ready. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Alonso down on strikes. Breaking ball and a strikeout for Bearclaw with that breaking pitch. 1 down. Stephen Vogt, their catcher, has walked and flied out to left. This is the only early afternoon game in Major League Baseball. Marlins have a 7-5 lead on the A's here in the 5th inning. 7 runs, 7 hits for the Marlins, 5 runs, 5 hits for the A's. That pitch low and inside, and both teams have made an error.
We've seen Bearclaw pitching earlier in games lately. Don Mattingly looking to lighten the burden a little bit for him, trying to get him back on track, and so far the results have been great. Last 4 times out since moving into an earlier inning role, he's pitched 5 scoreless innings, and he's been throwing strikes, which is the most encouraging thing of all.
There's a throw to first base. Back safely, diving to the bag is Chris Davis. Stephen Vogt, left-hand hitting catcher. Bearclaw sets and throws again to first base, and again Davis dives back to the bag. Bearclaw has allowed just a 179 batting average to lefties. He comes set and holds a little longer, now delivers, and it's over and a called strike. 1-1. Once again, Bearclaw to the plate. The 1-1 swing and a miss. Another breaking pitch. Dietrich well off the line at third. He's a third of the way down to second base. Riddle plays up the middle. Moore holds the runner at first, and D plants himself just about right smack dab in the middle of that right side. On the dirt at the infield. 1-2. Here it comes, and a chopper toward D. He goes to his right, has it. Backhand shovel to Riddle for 1, over to first for 2. Double play. 4-6-3. Nicely done by the Marlins, and no runs and a hit, and nobody left on base. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Marlins have a 7-5 lead here in Miami. You're listening to the Marlins Radio Network. Receive 50% off your entire online order tomorrow at papajohns.com. Use promo code Marlins5. Valid at participating South Florida Papa John's locations. John Axford came on in the last inning. He's ready to go. Delivers and a called strike. Axford, one of those former closers that Geff was talking about that work in the A's bullpen. Pitch low and outside.
They got Ryan Madsen out there, 86 big league saves. Sean Doolittle, 34. John Axford, 144 major league saves. And their actual closer is Santiago Garcia, 137 career big league saves.
1-1 the count on Real Muto. The pitch low and away and a ball.
So 401 career saves among those 4 different pitchers in the bullpen for the A's.
Axford has saved as many as 48 games in one season. That was 2011 with Milwaukee. The right-hander delivers and misses low, and he has fallen behind 3-1. He's either upset with himself or the plate umpire. Plate umpire is Adrian Johnson. Axford, who originally came up with the Seattle Mariners organization, pitching a called strike. Now he threads the needle there. 3-2 the count on Real Muto. In the second inning, Real Muto's the one that popped the ball up, on which Yonder Alonso backpedaled, and Matt Joyce came running in from right field, and they collided as Alonso caught the ball, and Joyce cut his chin on the top of Alonso's head in that collision. The pitch and a called strike 3 on JT. One away here in the 5th. First strikeout for Axford. Only the second batter he plays. Got Ozuna to hit into an inning-ending 6-4-3 double play in the 4th. Now here's Derek Dietrich, who is 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Had a single in that 4th inning. Left-hand batter. And they swing around to the right defensively, but not an overshift. The pitch to Dietrich. That's low and inside. Dietrich, when he got that hit in the 4th inning, snapped an 0 for 9. Here's the 1-0. That's in there for a called strike. Tyler Moore will follow. A lot happened in Major League Baseball yesterday and last night. Here's the pitch, and it's in there for a called strike. Actually on a check swing. He called him for swinging. An appeal at third base, and the umpire there, Gabe Morales, said that Dietrich went around 1-2 the count.
If you're going to tell the Yasiel Puig story, remember we're on TV here today, Dave.
Yeah, I can't tell the Puig
No
story
gestures.
except to say that his two-handed salute to the fans didn't go over well with MLB.
Not a good idea for a guy who did a pretty good job flying under the radar to this point this season.
That pitch is popped foul. This is out of play down the left field side. About that Minnesota win. 20 runs on 28 hits against the Mariners at Target Field last night.
It's a month's worth of offense.
Wow. 2-2 the count on Dietrich. The pitch fouled back. Eddie Rosario hit 3 home runs in that game and had 5 RBIs. And the 28 hits, that's a franchise record for the Twins last night. That included Eduardo Escobar's first career 5-hit game. Next, Kepler and Brian Dozier hit home runs. A couple of players had 4 hits. The pitch is fouled at the plate by Dietrich. Kenny Vargas and Jason Castro each had 4 hits. And Kyle Gibson will remember it forever. He gave up 6 runs over 6 innings, and he was the winning pitcher.
Mariners 7 runs, 14 hits, and it wasn't nearly enough. That sounds like a pretty good night offensively in most cases.
Sure.
Wasn't nearly enough.
That will win a lot of games for you. Here's the 2-2, and a ball ripped on a line down to the seats deep behind first base, about 5 rows back in there. And that's one where you keep your eye on that section for just a moment or two, make sure everybody's okay, and it appears everybody is okay. Someone had to get their hand stung on that line drive. 2-2, Axford to Dietrich. With Tyler Moore at the on-deck circle. We're in the bottom of the 5th. The pitch, and it's hit foul down the left field line, back out of play.
Twins had 2 7-run innings in that game. 2 separate 7-run innings.
The catcher vote going out to talk to Axford, trying to come up with something to get rid of Derek Dietrich, who's putting up a fight here. Nationals beat Atlanta 10-5 last night. So not much of a game to talk about, but there was one incident that everybody talked about. That pitch down and in looked like it might have gotten Dietrich on the right leg, did it? Yep, he's going to limp his way down to first base.
You know, that ends a very unusual drought for Dietrich, who last year set a Marlins club record for being hit by pitch, set a career record last year for being hit by pitch, led the league. It had been a while, though. His last hit by pitch was a month ago today, May 14th against the Braves. He had gone 96 plate appearances without being hit this year, after he was hit 8 times in his first 71 plate appearances this season.
So he holds the franchise mark, the single season mark last year at 24. Derek Dietrich at first base. By the time he got to first, I think he pretty much walked it off, although he still looks a little uncomfortable. Got hit on the lower right leg. The pitch to Tyler Moore, swung on and missed, and strike 1. For Dietrich this year, he's been hit 9 times now. You know, second on the club is D. Gordon. He's been hit 7 times.
Yeah, he had that run where he's getting hit almost every game. It seemed like he's also not been hit in a while, but he's already established a career high by a wide margin in that department too.
Off-speed pitch up and in, missed for a ball. 1-1 to Tyler Moore, who hit a home run in the second inning, his 5th home run. He reached on an error by the third baseman Ryan Healy in the 4th inning and scored a run. Batting here with 1 out, double play depth on the infield. Dietrich, the runner at first base. John Axford, the right-hander, sets, and from the high set delivers the pitch, and a fastball over and a strike. Fastball at 94. And Moore steps out. Official Marlins travel packages are available to witness history. Pudge Rodriguez going into the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. So a chance for you to go. Various options are available to fit any fan's travel needs. Marlins.com/HOF. 1-2, and it's low and outside. Now 2-2 to Tyler Moore. They've got the left fielder Chris Davis over in left center, almost directly in front of the Clevelander. The center fielder Rajay Davis just a couple of steps toward right center. He's, for all intents and purposes, straight away in center, not very deep. And Brugman is maybe 2-3 steps toward right center. For the right-hand batter Tyler Moore, he takes one up high, and now it's 3-2 to Tyler Moore. Marlins with the home runs from Ozuna and Moore in the second. Got 2 more runs in the third, 3 more in the fourth, and lead here 7-5 in the bottom of the 5th.
Still 12 outs to get out of the bullpen. Brad Ziegler's loosening right now. Going to really have to cobble the rest of this one together. We'd love to add on a little bit, make it a little bit easier.
Here's a 3-2, and it's low and outside and ball 4. A hit batter and a walk make things tough for Axford here. 1 out, and JT Riddle will bat. He's 0 for 2 so far. And Geff, that seems to have been the case so many times of late. It's why everybody in the bullpen's been so busy.
Well, the good news is you had the day off on Monday, got a day off tomorrow. You got 6 innings plus out of Urania last night. So Phelps an inning, Garcia an inning, and AJ an inning. Everybody's available, but you may need everybody to get these final 12 outs here today.
So a quick visit to the mound. JT Riddle about to get into the batter's box now. Mound visit is over. Perry Hill talking to the runner at first. Tyler Moore, Derek Dietrich, the runner down there at second base. Infield still looking for a double play ball. Axford is ready. His pitch. And a called strike. Here you have a situation where the second baseman would like to get his hands on a double play ball, Jed Lowry. He's got the umpire at second base, Gary Cederstrom, the crew chief, not directly in front of him, and Cederstrom's positioned in a spot where he doesn't really block Lowry's view of anything. Here's a ground ball base hit through the left side. Coming to third is Dietrich. He'll come home to score, and the Marlins lead 8-5 on an RBI single to left. Pulled there by Tyler Moore, his second RBI of the game. Excuse me, by JT Riddle. So the Marlins have scored in 4 consecutive innings, have an 8-5 lead. Moore winds up at second base, Riddle at first base, Dietrich home with the run. And Ichiro will pinch hit. Ichiro, who last night collected his 3,047th career hit, swings and misses here at strike 1. And Ichiro backs away from the batter's box for a moment. Still 2 on with 1 out here. Ichiro with a pinch hit single last night tied Derek Jeter. It was the 364th hit in interleague play, and those two are tied for the most. Good things happen when you stay around long enough. Ichiro's gone 5 for 8 with a couple of RBIs in his last 8 pinch hit appearances. Remember, he had a slow start in this department. In his previous 11, he'd gone 0 for 10 with a walk. Here's the pitch, and it's outside and a ball. So now all told 3,047 hits for Ichiro with the Mariners, the Yankees, the Marlins. 25th on the all-time list, moving in ever so close now to Rod Carew, 24th on the all-time list with 3,053. The pitch, and a little chopper out in front of the plate, picked up by Axford. He doesn't have a play. The bases are loaded. That'll be an infield hit for Ichiro. He doesn't get many like that. He's got the speed, but usually he'll hit the ball through a hole somewhere, a lot of times to left field or out into right center. This was a little tapper, just made it onto the grass, far enough away that the catcher, Stephen Vogt, gave way to the pitcher, Axford, to make the play. So Ichiro with an infield hit, loading the bases. Now we go to the top of the order and D. Gordon.
Now that we're watching our watch or anything, this game's 2 hours 9 minutes old and we're in the 5th inning still.
Mm-hmm.
The A's have to fly back across the country.
What? Here's a drawn in infield, and the first pitch a strike to D. Gordon.
The A's are flying home after this one. We get to fight Miami traffic leaving the ballpark today, but we don't have to fly across the country.
Not only are the A's flying home after this one, but they play tomorrow night.
Yeah, they get
start of a 4-game series with the Yankees.
Yeah, the Yanks and the Astros on an 8-game homestand.
How do you like that for a challenge?
Wow.
Here's the 0-1. And the ball is popped into the air to left. Chris Davis gets under this, makes the catch. Tagging is Tyler Moore. He'll score. The Marlins have another add-on run. Marlins are up 9-5. Second run in this inning. Now 2 outs in the inning, and Giancarlo gets to bat.
So 4 consecutive multi-run innings for the Marlins. 2 in the second, 2 in the third, 3 in the fourth, and 2 so far in the 5th.
D. Gordon's second sacrifice fly of the season. Second RBI of this game. 9 runs on 9 hits. Here's the pitch. Low and outside the ball. Stanton had a hit and scored a run in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 2 with a walk on the day. Batting average at .288. Been a tough inning for Axford. Hit batter, walk, back-to-back hits and a sac fly. There's a little chopper back to Axford. He has it. This should do it. The flip throw to first base for the out. Stanton retired 1-3. But the Marlins pick up 2 more runs here in inning number 5. On just that, a hit batter, a walk, and 2 hits and a sac fly. And they left 2 men on base. Brad Ziegler into the game for the Marlins. Marlins are up 9-5 now as the A's come to bat here in the 6th inning. Brad Ziegler, who started his major league career with the Oakland A's back in 2008. He started that season with Sacramento, the A's AAA club then, and went 2-0 with 8 saves and then was brought up the end of May to Oakland. Up with the A's, he pitched in 47 games, saved 13 of them, went 3-0 as a rookie. Chad Pinder will lead it off here. 1 ball, 1 strike. Marlins baseball brought to you in part by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote. The side armor deals, and it's popped foul out of play down the right field line by Pinder, the rookie shortstop.
When Ziegler debuted with the A's, he had that major league record setting streak, 39 consecutive scoreless innings to begin his big league career.
Here's the pitch, and a ball lifted in the air to left. Back a few steps, Ozuna over to left center and makes the catch. 1 down. Rajai Davis coming up. Davis didn't start the game, but he came in to replace Matt Joyce after Joyce suffered that cut on his chin in the collision with Yonder Alonso. Rajai Davis batted in the 4th inning, was called out on strikes, facing Edinson Volquez. Fouls one off at the plate here. 0-1. The pitch, missed low and inside. Ziegler with a career high 30 saves with the Arizona Diamondbacks in 2015. Had 22 combined, Arizona and Boston last year. Time given to the hitter Rajai Davis. Ziegler was ready to pitch, and Davis got time out from Adrian Johnson, the plate umpire. Here's the 1-2 now, and it is just a little bit low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ziegler, who was born in Pratt, Kansas. There's a ball bounced past Ziegler, charged by Gordon. Picks it up, throws to first, not in time. The speedy Rajai Davis beats out an infield hit. The only hope there to keep Davis from beating that out was that Ziegler would have fielded the ball, but it was just out of his reach. The 6th hit for these A's. A's scored 4 of their 5 runs in the early innings. 1 in the first, 3 in the second, 3 on a home run by Ryan Healy. Here's the pitch, and a ground ball to the right side, flagged down by D. Gordon. Picks himself up, throws to first. Good play and a good out at first base. Down to second is the pinch hitter Trevor Plouffe. Plouffe pinch hit, made an out last night, and he is really struggling with the bat. Veteran player. Now we go to the top of the order, and the rookie Jacob Brookman up. The pitch, and it's low and outside, ball 1. Talking about an umpire and the positioning of the umpire on the infield in front of infielders. Anyway, Daniel Murphy and umpire Alan Porter, who was the second base umpire, had a very long verbal exchange over the positioning. Here's a ground ball to the left side, picked up by Riddle, thrown to first for the out, and the side is retired. So the infield hit by Rajai Davis didn't do any harm to Brad Ziegler or the Marlins. And we've now played 5.5 innings, 9-5 Miami on the Marlins Radio Network. So it's been a trying series for them. Well, it's been a trying season, but in particular this series has been very trying for them. Liam Hendricks comes on, the right-hander, and he'll face Yelich, Ozuna, and Real Muto. Stay at the Days Inn and see your team play. Stay 2 nights, save 20%. Earn 1,000 Wyndham Reward bonus points. Book now at daysinn.com. Terms and conditions apply. Liam Hendricks into his 27th game. 2-1 record, 3.62 earned run average. And he delivers ball 1 to Christian Yelich. Yelich is 1 out of 2 on the day. Grounded out to second in the first inning. Singled and drove in a run in the third inning. Pitch outside. The Marlins have made the most of everything, and the same can be said of the A's. The Marlins have scored 9 runs on 9 hits, and the A's have scored 5 runs on 6 hits. Ball 2 to Yelich. Left-hand batter. And the pitch on the way, hit foul out of play to the left side. Yelich in this at-bat is hitting .265. He is a career .289 hitter. In 2015 he hit .300 for the first time at the major league level, and just missed that mark last year, hitting .298 for the 2016 season. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and it's fouled off to the left side. So even if he is going to wind up hitting around his average, which would put him at around .289 for his career, but the last couple of years very close to .300 each of the last 2 years. .300 1 year, .298 last year. You've got to say he's going to go on a real hot stretch. The pitch is low, and ball 3, 3-2. Ozuna to follow, the number 4 batter. Hendricks to the plate, and it's hit foul out of play by Yelich. Anyway, in talking about last night's business between Daniel Murphy and the umpire Alan Porter, often you see infielders ask an umpire to move to the right or to the left a little bit, and often the umpire, more often than not, will make a move, step or two this way or that way. Well, Alan Porter just refused to move last night, and so that got him into the verbal exchange back and forth with Daniel Murphy. And Murphy said yes, words were exchanged, but we worked through it. And by the time the game ended, he and Alan Porter were buddies again. But it was something they had to work through in their 10-5 win over the Atlanta Braves at Nationals Park. I'm going to guess, here's the 3-2 and a ground ball foul behind first. I'm going to guess that what Alan Porter said to Daniel Murphy was, look, if a ball is hit my way, I will move. I'll get out of your way. Murphy's point was that just like a clear shot at it.
You know, it's interesting. Umpires have positioned themselves where they position themselves for years. And for the longest time, defenders positioned themselves in one place for years. Now with all the shifting going on, haven't talked about this very much. Haven't really thought about it much. It's surprising you don't see more of this.
Yeah, there are the occasional conflicts between fielder and umpire because of the changes now in the metrics of defense. Here's a ball lined up the middle and a base hit for Christian Yelich. That's another nice at bat for Yelich. He's now 2 out of 3 on the day. Now you see all the defensive changes and everything that we see on a daily basis, Jeff. And if you eliminate those from your vision in looking at all games, it's still pretty much the same game, isn't it?
Oh, no question. But now from pitch to pitch, you don't know where defenders are, and umpires have to be conscious of that. And literally, in the same at bat, from pitch to pitch, people are moving around.
Yeah. Here's the pitch, and Ozuna hits one foul down the left field line. Pretty good distance and a foul ball. Nothing in one on Marcell Ozuna, now with 17 home runs and 46 runs batted in. Hendricks with the 0-1. Yelich is on the move. The pitch is down and in. The throw down to second is not in time, and Yelich got a terrific jump. And he is now perfect on the season. 7 stolen bases and has not been caught. One ball and one strike to Marcell Ozuna. Stephen Vogt, who had caught 9 of 22 coming into the game, 41%, good number there, but couldn't make up for the jump that Yelich got. The pitch is fouled at the plate by Ozuna. 1-2. Since the home run, Marcell grounded out 4-3 in the third, hit into a 6-4-3 double play facing Axford in the 4th inning to end the inning. That hit by Yelich, by the way, the 10th hit for the Marlins. The pitch, and that's low and blocked by Stephen Vogt. Marlins with 11 hits in the 8-1 win last night. Friday night had an 18-hit game, beat the Pirates 12-7. Offense has picked up. Here's the 2-2. And it's low and outside. And of course the Marlins are still waiting to get Martin Prado back, to get Justin Bour back.
There have really only been a handful of games this year where the Marlins have had their regular starting 8 out there.
And it really underscores another factor with this team. Here's a line drive into the gap in left center. That's going to go all the way in one hop up against the wall. Here comes Yelich around to score on a double by Marcell Ozuna, his 13th double of the year. Marcell Ozuna puts another run up on the board for the Marlins. They've scored 10 and lead 10-5.
Another multiple hit game for Ozuna, another 3 RBI game for Ozuna. And it's reaching the point where the talk about Ozuna going to the All-Star game is almost absurd. You don't even have to have this discussion with the numbers he's putting up.
Yeah.
The consistent production. You'd love to think he gets a shot to start. That may be a long shot at this point. You look at the balloting, another great outfielders in the league, no question, but he's got to be on the team.
And it really underscores the job of late that's been done by Stanton and Yelich and Ozuna and Real Muto. Here's the pitch. And it's in there in a called strike. And not to leave out some big hits by the number 8 hitter, JT Riddle, some big hits by the leadoff batter, D. Gordon. And it's been a solid effort up and down the lineup.
And then if a Tyler Moore come off the bench and do what he's done.
Oh my, yes. That's been huge. So all of that and still waiting for the return.
Yep.
Coming soon, Justin Bour and Martin Prado.
And Bour could be as soon as Friday in Atlanta. That's the hope. Everything goes according to plan tonight for him. And Prado could be on the next homestand at some point.
Ozuna now with his 27th multiple hit game. Strike 2 called on JT. JT has been left out of the hit party today. So far he's popped up to the first baseman Yonder Alonso. That was the collision play, Alonso and Joyce. He's flied out the center and he's been called out on strikes. The 1-2 from Hendricks, swing and a miss. And JT Realmuto is down on strikes. Out number one. 1 run in. Ozuna out there at second base. With 47 RBIs for him now, he's moving up that ladder as well. Jake Lamb, the leader, with 57 RBIs. But the 47 will put Ozuna into the top 10. Here's the pitch, and that's low and outside. 7th or 8th, depending on how things go today. He'll be right in there with Adam Duvall of the Reds, Nolan Arenado at Colorado, Bryce Harper sitting on 49, runs batted in. Here's the pitch. That's low and outside to Derek Dietrich. The count is 2 balls, no strikes. Only 1 out with Ozuna at second base, so a chance for the Marlins to have another multiple run inning. Here's the 2-0. Outside, ball 3. Tyler Moore is on deck. Marlins have Nick Whitgren up in the bullpen. Liam Hendricks and company trying to figure out a way to get out of this 6th inning. 3-0 pitch. Caught the inside corner and a called strike on the Marlins number 32, Derek Dietrich. Hendricks sets, checks the runner, delivers, and it's popped foul out of play to the left side. We've often brought up on the broadcast the fact that his grandfather was Steve Demeter. Steve Demeter played for a long time, particularly in the minor leagues, but saw him play a lot of third base for Jeff's Rochester Red Wings.
Red Wings Hall of Famer.
There's a 3-2. That's over and strike 3 called, and Dietrich is out of there. Back-to-back strikeouts for Hendricks. Now 2 down with Ozuna at second and Tyler Moore to bat. Moore with a home run in the 2nd, reached on E5 in the 4th, and walked and scored in the 5th. So he scored 3 runs. He's knocked in 2. Last night had a 3-hit game and had 2 RBIs. Two down, 1 on. Moore, the right-hand batter, in there, and the pitch, swing and a miss. Breaking pitch. 10-5 Marlins here in the 6th.
So some will say when Bohr comes back, how do you keep Moore's bat in the lineup as productive as he's been? How do you get him more at bats? And remember, at the start of the year, there was some consideration to maybe Moore and Bohr platooning at first base. Bohr the lefty hitter, Moore the right-handed hitter. Well, Bohr has hit lefty pitching so well this year.
The pitch, and it's popped up into right field. Coming on is Brugman. He gets under it, makes the catch. Moore is out, and the side is retired. Yelich with a leadoff hit, a steal at second, scored on the Ozuna double, and the Marlins have a 10-5 lead. And we're going to the 7th inning at Marlins Park in Miami. You're listening to the Marlins Radio Network.
in the 7th. Nick Whitgren has done a nice job for the Marlins this season. Making appearance number 22. He's 1-0, a 2.92 ERA. In 24 2/3 innings, he's given up 23 hits and 8 runs. He's walked only 5, struck out 23, so just about a strikeout per inning, with a nearly 5-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. He's allowed a couple of homers in his 24 2/3. Lowry's working on a perfect afternoon. He walked and scored in the first, walked and scored in the second, and he doubled home run in the 4th. That RBI double made it a 5-4 Oakland lead. It's been all Marlins ever since. Takes high on the ball. If the Marlins hang on and win this game, this will be their biggest comeback of the year. They were down 4-0 when they came to the plate in the bottom of the 2nd. 1-0 is fouled off to the left. Marlins on 3 occasions this year have trailed by 3 runs and come back to win, but today would be the first time they overcame a 4-run deficit. April 23rd in San Diego, they were down 3-0 heading into the 6th inning, came back to win 7-3. A week later, April 30th, here against the Pirates, they were down 3-0 into the bottom of the 2nd, went on to win 10-3. 1-1 to Lowry is fouled off. And just a few days after that, May 3rd at Tropicana Field against the Rays, they were down 3-0 into the 4th. Rallied to win that ball game 10-6. Today it was 4-0 Oakland after an inning and a half, and now 10-5 Marlins in the 7th. We've seen Volquez, Bearclaw, Ziegler, and Whitgren. And with the official score to decide who gets the win in this ball game. Starter Volquez didn't go the 5 required for the win, which is inside the ball. See, the Marlins took the lead for good in the bottom of the 4th inning. Volquez was still technically in the game at that point, so the easy thing to do would be to give it to Kyle Bearclaw, who was the next pitcher. He threw a scoreless inning, 1 hit. Brad Ziegler the same. Now Whitgren. It'll most likely be Bearclaw. Ball flared out into shallow left center, and the shortstop Riddle goes a long way to track it down. You had Riddle, Ozuna, and Yelich all coming together in a triangle out there, but Riddle covered a lot of ground for the first out here in the 7th inning. Going to get Ryan Healy to the plate. You're talking about the injuries the Marlins have endured, especially on the infield. Prado and Echeverria out, with Justin Bour out. Cannot say enough about the job that Tyler Moore's done over the last 10 days, but over a much more extended period, the job that JT Riddle has done at shortstop. And don't forget Derek Dietrich. He's held his own at third base, offensively and defensively. He's had some big hits for this team. He's made some big defensive plays as well. Switch to Ryan Healy, who had a 3-run home run earlier in the day. It's in there for a strike from Whitgren. But you think about Riddle coming up from the minor leagues, never played in the big leagues before. He's been great with the glove. He's gotten a lot of big hits. 1 more today. He's 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. One pitch to Healy is too low. And Riddle's done a nice job. He's kept that average up in the 260, 270 range. 22 runs batted in. I mentioned this several days ago. He was second on the team in plate appearances per RBI, out of the 8th spot in the lineup as Healy swings and misses. So Riddle's done a really nice job, and it'll be very interesting to see what happens when Echeverria comes back. We know what a magician Etch is defensively. We know about the hot and cold nature of his offense. Very good year for the Marlins 2 years ago, down year last year. 1-2 to Healy is outside the ball. He was off to a pretty good start this year. But you think about the long term, you think about Riddle's youth, you think about the potential there. And it'll be interesting to see what the Marlins do when Etch is ready to come back. BT's given him a lot to think about. 1 out, nobody on here in the A's 7th. 2-2 pitch. Whitgren to Healy just outside. Chris Davis waits on deck. Big 4th of July coming up. Tracy Lawrence and Dina Carter bringing their hits to Miccosukee Resort and Gaming on the 4th. Tickets start at just $35 through Eventbrite. Doors open at 5 with a fireworks show to follow. Visit Miccosukee.com. There's a liner fair down the right field line. Extra bases into the corner for Ryan Healy. Stanton will dig it out, and Healy pulls in at second base with a 1-out double. So Healy's got his second hit, his second extra base hit in the ballgame. He stays high. And now Chris Davis, who last year had 42 home runs for the A's. It's Miccosukee.com. Tracy Lawrence and Dina Carter in concert at Miccosukee on the 4th of July. That's the 7th A's hit. The A's scored 5 runs, 4 earned off Edinson Volquez in his 4 innings of work. He walked 4, allowed the Healy home run through 92 pitches in 4 innings. Kyle Bearclaw scoreless 5th. Brad Ziegler hung a 0 in the 6th. Now Davis takes high on a ball, a fastball from Whitford here in inning number 7. Davis singled last time. He's 1 for 3. Marlins lighten up the scoreboard again. 10 runs and 11 hits. 1-0 to Davis is outside and low. We talked about the Marlins now on the verge of being 15-8 after starting the year 14-27. And the difference has been the offense, as has been the case today. 2-0 pitch to Davis is popped foul out of play off to the right. We'll tell you about that offense first, so let's pause for station identification along the Marlins radio network. Glenn Geffner, Dave Van Horn with you here at Marlins Park. Top of the 7th. Marlins 10, A's 5. Healy at second, 1 out. 2-1 pitch runs into Chris Davis. Ball 3. Marlins have left-hander Harlan Garcia up in the bullpen now. In winning 14 of their last 22 games, the Marlins have batted .292 as a team. When they started the year just 14-27, they were hitting .254 collectively. The 3-1 to Davis is high, ball 4. So Whitburn's put 2 men on with 1 out here in the 7th for Yonder Alonso, who with 1 swing could make things very interesting in a hurry. And he may not get that chance against Whitgren. Here comes Don Mattingly onto the dugout steps. And yes, indeed, looks like he wants the lefty to face Alonso here in the 7th. Won't take any chances with a 5-run lead that could shrink very quickly with Alonso coming up. We'll take a break for this pitching change. Top of the 7th. It's the Marlins 10, the A's 5 on the Marlins radio network. Three runs, couple of homers in 1 inning against LA. Outside of that, he's done a real nice job. He'll face Alonso with Healy at second base, Davis at first. 1 out here in the Oakland 7th. Marlins in front 10-5. Talking about the Marlins offense and how much improved it is in what could now be a 15-8 stretch after the 14-27 start. So when the Marlins got off to the slow start, they were hitting .254 as a team, .292 since over the last 22 games. Their team OBP is up from .315 to .343. They were slugging .399 as a team early on, now .482 over the last 22 games. So the OPS, which was .714, now .825 in going 14-8. Marlins averaging 1.7 runs a game more in this recent surge as Alonso fouls one off near the plate, strike one. When they were 14-27, 41 games in, they were averaging 4 runs a game. In going 14-8 since, they've averaged 5.7 runs per game, averaging better than 10 hits a game during this surge, and averaging 1.3 home runs a game during this recent surge. Long ball's been a big part of the story this year. 0-1 to Alonso is over the outside corner. Garcia jumps ahead here, 0-2. Alonso has walked, hit a fly ball to center, and struck out 0 for 2 in the ball game. You're talking about the doubleheader the A's played against the Rays. They split a pair Saturday at Tropicana Field. Alonso had a 7-hit day. He went 7 for 10 with 2 doubles and 2 RBIs in that twin bill, hitting .393 in his last 17 games into this one. With 2 on and 1 out in the 7th on 0-2, he takes high and tight, backs away from a heater at 92 from Harlan Garcia. Remember last year the Marlins were 29th in Major League Baseball in runs scored. Only the Phillies scored fewer runs. Actually, they were 27th in runs scored. Let me correct that. They were 29th in home runs, 27th in runs scored last year. 1-2 to Alonso in the air down the left field line, moving over to his right, Ozuna, and he makes the catch, just barely still in fair territory. That's the second out. A big out to get a potential all-star in Alonso there for Harlan Garcia. And now he'll face Stephen Vogt, who's 0 for 2 with a bases loaded walk in the game. Last year, the Marlins 27th out of 30 Major League teams in runs scored. This year, they're 17th. They're averaging half a run per game more this year than last year to this point. The one thing they did very well last year was they hit for a high average. A lot of singles. Didn't have a good slugging percentage. Not a lot of extra base hits. Last year, they were 4th in the majors in team batting. Right now, they're 6th in Major League Baseball. Pitch to Vogt is pulled on the ground into the shift. D. Gordon diving to his left, has it on the outfield grass, throws to first. Well defended to get Garcia and the Marlins out of the 7th. The A's threatened, but they're turned away by Harlan Garcia and by the Gold Glove of D. Gordon. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left. Time to stand and sing here at Marlins Park. It's the 7th inning stretch. At the stretch, Miami 10, the visiting A's 5 on the Marlins Radio Network. Neal, who was at one time a Marlins farmhand, Pitched a one-hit scoreless 8th inning last night in the 8-1 series opening win for Miami. His big league appearance number 5 of this season for Neal. Low record of .926 ERA. He's allowed 12 runs on 17 hits in 11 2/3 innings. JT Riddle is 1 out of 3, singled home run last time, and he takes down an in-ball 1 from Neal. Neal made his big league debut last year, 24 games, 6 as a starter, 2-4, and a .424 ERA for Oakland. At Nashville this year, 8 games, 4 starts, 1-2, 389. Riddle pulls one foul. First base side, 1-1. Talking about the Marlins' offensive improvement from last year to this year. And the Marlins were 4th in the majors in team batting last year. Just hit too many singles, though. Not enough extra base hits. Didn't hit enough home runs. Didn't have a high enough team slugging percentage. That's gotten better this year. 1-1. Neal to Riddle. Fouled off to the left. Marlins last year were 27th out of 30 teams in team slugging. They slugged .394. This year they're at .428, which is good for 11th best in the majors. From 27th last year to 11th this year. It's a big jump. That's after a slow start, too, remember. 1-2 to Riddle, a swing and a miss. Neal's got the strikeout to begin the bottom of the 7th. Marlins last year hit a total of 128 home runs. Christian Colon is introduced into the game as a pinch hitter here. Marlins down to A.J. Ellis on their bench among position players. With that for Harlan Garcia, who retired the only 2 men he faced. Nick Whitgren, a scoreless inning, a hit and a walk. Pitch to Colon is a strike over the outside edge. Marlins last year, 128 home runs. This year, into this game today, they're on pace to hit 198. They're on pace to hit 70 more home runs than they did last year. They're on pace for almost 50 more extra base hits than last year. Ground ball pulled to short. Colon is out 6-3. Pinder across to Alonso for the second out here in the 7th inning. So the Marlins 29th in homers last year, 17th this year. 29th in extra base hits last year, 24th this year. Team OBP's up, team slugging's up. Team batting average is up, 263 last year, 267 this year, even though their rank in team batting is down from last year. 4th a season to go in the majors, 6th this year. But across the board, under the tutelage of Mike Pagliarulo and assistant hitting coach Frank Menachino, this offense has been a lot better this season as D. Gordon stands in and takes a strike. And certainly Marcell Ozuna has led the way with the big jump in his game. Justin Bour, before getting hurt, what a productive bat he was and will be again soon, as D slaps one fair inside the bag at third, down toward the left field corner. Kicks off the sidewall, picked up by Chris Davis. Gordon in standing easily at second base with a double, his second hit in the game. He's got 2 hits, he's got 2 RBIs, he's got a run scored today. D. Gordon into this game, batting .333 over his last 23, with an OBP up around .380 over the course of nearly the last month. He's been hot. Stanton's been hot. Bour was hot before the injury. Ozuna hot. Tyler Moore has picked up some slack for Bour. JT Riddle's done a great job at shortstop. JT Realmuto got off to a hot start. He's cooled off a little bit lately, but continues to get some big, important hits for the Marlins. Had that big game in Pittsburgh over the weekend. It's a tough lineup to pitch to. 1-8 now. A lot of people can beat you. As Stanton goes the other way, lines one into right field for another hit. D's going to be waved, and Giancarlo delivers his second hit of the day. It's 11-5 Marlins in the 7th. So D now 2 hits, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Stanton with his 45th ribby of the year. Marlins are down 4-0 in the second, now lead 11-5. They've now outscored the A's 19-6 and out hit Oakland 24-10 in this 2-game series. Here's Christian Yelich looking for a 3rd hit in the game. Takes too low.
The Marlins have now scored in 6 of the 7 innings.
Every inning since the first. Went down 1-2-3 in the first against the starter Daniel Gossett in his big league debut. He allowed 7 runs on 6 hits and 3 1/3. Couple of homers. A walk and a strikeout. 1-0 to Yelich is too low. Marlins got home runs from Ozuna and Moore in the second inning today. We're talking about the offense and how much better it's been, and those home runs specifically. 2 more today. 2-0 to Yelich is low, ball 3. So the Marlins now have hit 10 homers in the last 5 games. They've got 79 at the moment on the season. This is game number 64. So now they're on pace to hit 200 on the button with the 2 in this game to this point. 3-0 to Yelich is in there for a strike. Marlins in their history, this is their 25th season. They've hit 200 homers in the season twice. A club record 208 in 2008 and 201 in 2007. Here's a 3-1. Yelich fouls it off left side. Marlins hit 128 all year last year, only 120 in 2015, 122 in 2014, and only 95 in 2013. They've averaged 116 home runs over the last 4 years, 116 a season. Well, they're at 79 already this year. This is game number 64. And it's not just one person carrying the load. And that's why the numbers are what they are. It's not all Giancarlo. Yeah, he's got 17, but Bohr's got 16. Ozuna's got 17. 3-2 to Yelich, a swing and a miss. He's down on strikes, and the inning's over. Marlins tack on another. 1 run, 2 hits. They leave a man. We'll move along to inning number 8 now in Miami. It's the Marlins 11 and the Athletics 5 on the Marlins Radio Network.
Network's Thursday night showcase. Harper leads the Nats against Bruce and the Mets. Join Smoltz and Costas for MLB Network's Thursday night showcase, live at 7 Eastern.
But we'll see if McGowan, who hasn't pitched in 5 days, gets a shot at the final 6 outs. Pinder, Rajai Davis, and a pinch hitter, 7-8-9 due for Oakland. Down by 6. We last saw McGowan in Pittsburgh. He pitched Friday night, an inning and a third, a couple of walks, no hits or runs. He's yet to allow a run in the month of June. This is 6th appearance this month. Pinder, right-handed batter, takes inside in the ball. He's 0 for 3, couple of strikeouts, a fly ball to left, hitless in this series in 5 ABs. McGowan has worked 32 2/3 innings for the Marlins this season. 1-0 to Pinder is tapped foul, third base side. 26 hits and 11 runs, walking 14, striking out 26. 4-0 at 3.03 ERA. He was tied for the team lead in victories until Jose Urena picked up his 5th win last night. Now McGowan and Dan Straley tied for second on the team with 4 wins. 1-1 to Pinder is in there for a strike. Stay with us after the game for the Metro PCS 10th inning show. Head to Metro PCS, get your free big screen Samsung Galaxy. Metro PCS wireless figured out. 11 runs, 13 hits and an error for the Marlins. 5-7-1 for the visiting A's. 1-2 to Pinder, bends outside and low. The A's jumped out quickly, had a 4-0 lead at Edinson Volquez after an inning and a half. But it's been all Marlins ever since. Miami 2 in the second, 2 in the third, 3 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, 1 in the sixth, and 1 in the seventh. 11-5 in the eighth. Pinder on 2-2, grounds one off the hands to third, diving to his left to field it. Dietrich throws to first, gets the out. Good play by Derek. That's the first out in the eighth. And now Rajay Davis to the plate. He came on for Matt Joyce, who left the game after his collision in short right field with Yonder Alonso. He had a laceration under his chin. Josh Fegley, the other A's catcher, comes out to the on-deck circle. They've got Fegley and Adam Rosales left on their bench. Marlins are off tomorrow. 3 against the Braves this weekend. We finally get our first look at SunTrust Park, the new home of the Braves in Cobb County. 0-1 from McGowan is fouled off. That's strike 2. We'll play at 7:35 Friday night, 4:10 Saturday, and 1:35 Sunday. Here are the pitching matchups. Marlins are going to face a couple of lefties in that series. Friday night, Dan Straley for Miami. Lefty Sean Newcomb will make his second major league start for the Braves. 0-2 to Davis is flared foul into the seats down the right field line. So Straley and Sean Newcomb on Friday. Saturday, Jeff Locke will face left-hander Jaime Garcia. And then Sunday, Jose Urena pitches against Mike Fultonevich. So Straley, Newcomb, Locke, Garcia, and Urena, Fultonevich. There's called strike 3 to Davis. McGowan caught him looking at his slider for the second out here in the 8th inning. Now we'll get Josh Fegley to pinch hit. Fegley started behind the plate, went 0 for 3 last night. He's 1 for 7 against Marlins pitching this year. And overall hitting at .209 in 31 games. 4 doubles, 3 homers, 7 batted in. As a pinch hitter, 1 for 3. That 1 hit was a home run. 11-5, the Marlins over the A's in the top of the 8th. The A's, meanwhile, get the Yankees and the Astros on an upcoming 8-game homestand. There's one rocketed foul down the left field line into the seats. Well, don't forget the 2017 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot is out. Time to vote's running short. Jump online, head to marlins.com/vote to help send deserving Marlins players to the All-Star Game presented by MasterCard right here at Marlins Park on July 11th. It's less than a month away. Cast your votes at marlins.com/vote. 1 to Fegley is in the air, right center. Stanton on the move, going back, won't catch up to it. Bounces on the track, up against the wall, and Fegley's in at second base with a pinch hit double. So the inning extended, a chance for center fielder Jacob Brugman with 2 outs and Fegley in scoring position. Well, Marcell Ozuna is making his all-star case. Giancarlo Stanton is making a case. Some would argue JT Realmuto is making a case. Justin Bour, before the injury, at a loaded position, absolutely loaded position, first base of the National League. He's making a case. Hope you'll vote. You can vote up to 5 times a day, up to 35 times in all. Hit from McGowan to Brugman. Bouncer back to the mound. McGowan has it. Runs a few steps toward first. Underhands to Moore. Inning over. No runs. A hit and a man left. To the bottom of the 8th. It's the Marlins 11 and Oakland 5 on the Marlins Radio Network. The offense here today going 2 for 4, a double, a homer. He's knocked in 3. Crowd of nearly 20,000 on hand here at the ballpark on this Wednesday afternoon. Many of them have headed for the exits early with the Marlins up big. Wasn't always the case. If you're just joining us, it was 4-0 Oakland into the bottom of the 2nd. He's jumped on Edinson Volquez, who came in having not allowed a run in his last 16 innings. Breaking ball to Marcel. Bends outside and low. Ball 1 as we get started here in the bottom of the 8th. But the Marlins have stormed back. Every starting position player except JT Realmuto at least 1 hit. 1-0 and Ozuna takes outside and low. That's ball 2. Marlins strung together 4 consecutive multiple run innings from the 2nd through the 5th. Single runs in the 6th and the 7th. If they can score here in the 8th, they will have scored in 7 of the 8 innings in which they'll hit today. We hope they only hit in 8. Neal was falling behind the 2-0, and Ozuna taps it foul toward the third base dugout. Marlins baseball is brought to you by Chevron. Unbeatable. No one's ahead of it. No one outshines it. When it comes to cleaning engines, Chevron with Techron is unbeatable. Care for your car. Marlins will be 29 and 35 with the win. Taking care of business against the A's. 2-1 to Ozuna's outside and low. Now they get 3 straight against the Braves, who have played pretty good baseball of late. Atlanta heading into play tonight at 28 and 36, a half game behind the Marlins. Braves are without Freddie Freeman. 3-1 to Ozuna, swing and a miss, 3-2. Handful of new faces on that Braves roster since the last time we saw Atlanta, but that's a team that's played the Marlins tough in recent years. We'll see if the Marlins can put some distance, maybe with a good weekend between themselves and the Braves, who are 4th in the division, and if the Marlins can make a run at the Mets, who have the Nationals coming up this weekend. Miami a game behind the 2nd place Mets beginning play today. Swing and a miss. Ozuna strikes out after Neal had fallen behind. So 1 out in the 8th for JT Realmuto, looking for his first hit of the game. Talking about the Marlins taking care of business against the A's. This is the Marlins' 64th game of the season. Of the 64 they've played, only 18 of them have come against teams that currently have a winning record. They haven't done a good enough job against the teams with losing records. If they win today, they'll be 23 and 23 against teams that currently have losing records. Got to be better than that. Realmuto rolls one to the shortstop. Pinder's got it. Plenty of time across the first 2 down. So an 0 for 5 day for JT. Remember, Real Muto started the year with 4 consecutive multiple hit games. He had his average up above 300 every day of the season until May 30th. But it's slipping right now as Derek Dietrich stands in. 1 for 3, a single. He's been hit by a pitch, and he's scored a run in the game. 2 outs, nobody on in the 8th. If Dietrich is out, it would be the first time a Athletics pitcher set down the Marlins 1-2-3 since the first inning. There's a strike to Dietrich. So the Marlins with a win today would be 23-23 against sub-500 teams. They are 6-12 in the 18 games against teams with winning records. 0-1 to Dietrich is outside the ball. Got to take care of business against the teams at the bottom of the standings and then try to hold your own against teams at the top. Miami's 1-2 against the Nationals, who will finally see for the first time since the opening series of the season on the next homestand. Marlins lost 3 out of 4 to the Dodgers in L.A. They won 3 of 4 from the D-backs here on the last homestand, which is low to Dietrich, 2-1. Swept 3 straight by the Astros in Miami. And the Marlins went 1-3 against Tampa Bay. The Rays have surged lately to get to 35-32 and jump back into contention in the AL East. 2-1 to Dietrich, swing and a miss. It's 2-2. If the Marlins win today, it'll be 10 wins in their last 12 games here at Marlins Park. They started the year 6-14 at home. They'd be 10-2 since. Nobody on, 2 outs. 2-2 to Dietrich. Popped in the air, foul off of third base. Healy gives it a run, runs out of room. Into the seats just beyond that sidewall down the left field line. The concrete bounced up a few rows. Marlins 11, A's 5, bottom of the 8th. They would hit Oakland 13-8. Hopefully these Marlins can bring these hot bats to Atlanta for the weekend. 2-2 to Dietrich, breaking ball fouled off. So we had that 7-game road trip to Chicago and Pittsburgh. Now home for 2 against Oakland. The night game last night, the quick turn on the day game today. We hit the road for 3 minutes right back home. So if you start with the Sunday game in Pittsburgh and finish with the Friday game coming up in Atlanta, it'll be 4 games in 3 different cities for the Marlins. Dietrich, fly ball, shallow right. Coming on for it, Brugman makes the running catch, sprinting in toward the infield. And the Marlins are gone 1-2-3 for the first time since the first inning here in the bottom of the 8th. We go to the 9th, time to home to go home. It's the Marlins 11, the A's 5 on the Marlins Radio Network.
This flight tomorrow to Atlanta for the 3-game series. Well, first of all, he's making his third major league appearance. He pitched in a game against the A's May 24th out at Oakland. 1 inning, no runs, 1 hit. And he pitched the other day in Pittsburgh. 1 inning, no runs, 2 hits. Walk and a strikeout. And the first pitch here to Jed Lowrie is fouled away. Streckenrider with a fastball there at 94, fouled by the left-hand hitter. Lowrie is 1 out of 2. He's walked a couple of times, scored 2 runs. He's knocked in a run. He knocked in a run in the 4th inning with a double. Streckenrider to the plate, and it's fouled away off to the left side. 0-2. Streckenrider, one of the top pitching prospects in the organization. Out of Greater Atlanta Christian School in Atlanta, then on to the University of Tennessee in Knoxville. Here's the 0-2 coming to Lowrie, and it's fouled back. Still 0-2. That fastball at 96 miles an hour. While at New Orleans, he pitched in 20 games, all out of the bullpen. 0-1, a 1.65 earned run average, and had 33 strikeouts in 27 1/3 innings. Only allowed 13 hits in 27 1/3. Here's a pop foul back out of play. Dustin McGowan worked the 8th inning. 1 inning, no runs, 1 hit, 1 strikeout. The Marlins have pieced it together since Volquez, the starter, just went 4. The pitch is outside to Lowrie. 1-2 the count. Healy on deck, and then Chris Davis. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled away off to the left side. So Streckenrider in his 3rd big league game, 2nd time against the A's. On Friday night in Atlanta, Dan Straley goes against lefty Sean Newcomb, who will be making his 2nd major league start. Here's the 1-2 pitch, down and in, and did he go? An appeal at 3rd, no swing. 2-2. The lefty the Marlins will face on Friday night in Atlanta. It's a big guy at 6'5". Lost to the Mets his first time out, although he pitched well. He'll make his 2nd big league start against the Marlins Friday, facing Dan Straley. Here's the 2-2, and that's just off the inside, and ball 3. So after getting ahead, Streckenrider goes to the full count. Jeff Locke faces Jaime Garcia in the middle game of that series, then Arena and Foltynewicz. The pitch is low. He walked him. Couldn't put him away after getting ahead, and kept missing with that fastball at 96 and 97. A leadoff walk here in the 9th. Don't like to see that. With the big lead, Marlins up by a half a dozen runs, 11-5. But you'd like to see Streckenrider put it away quickly and come right after the hitters. Here's Healy, who hit a 3-run homer in the 2nd inning, hit a double in the 7th inning. He's 2 out of 4. Streckenrider's pitch, and it's in there for a called strike. After the ball game, the Metro PCS 10th inning show. Head to Metro PCS, get your free big screen Samsung Galaxy. Metro PCS wireless, figured out. 0-1 to Healy. The pitch, a swing and a foul at the plate. But talking about Streckenrider heading home with the Marlins to face the Braves, an exciting time for him. It is for any rookie. When you get called up and make your way around it, if your hometown is in or near a major league city, you're going to have family, friends all coming out to see you. Here's the pitch, outside, and a ball. 1-2 the count. Down to second base, uncontested. Defensive indifference. Lowry. Here's the 1-2. And a foul ball out of play, goes off to our right. The count stays at 1-2. And Streckenrider is 13 pitches into this deal. And JT Realmuto went right out to talk to him and jogs right back behind the plate. Healy's home run in the second, that 3-run homer, his 15th of the year. Here's the 1-2, and it's hit foul again out of play off to our right. Good catch down below in the lower seating bowl on the carom. It caromed off the facing of this level where all the broadcast booths are located and the print media. Here's the pitch and a foul ball back toward Geff. Down into the loads just below us.
I was poised. I was ready.
The foul ball that hit off the facing down here came within a foot or so of making it up against the glass of that closed booth down there on the far end. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and that's fouled on the ground to the left side. Kicks up into the first row of the box seats, and a fan's able to grab it there. So Healy is putting up a big battle. Streckenrider, for the most part, has been pounding away with fastballs. See what he does here. 1-2. Here's the pitch and a base hit through the right side on another fastball. Standing up with it, and it's first and third for the A's. A walk and a single, and nobody out here in the ninth. This has happened a couple of times recently to Don Mattingly and Juan Nieves, where they give one of the young pitchers a chance to put a game away, a game in which there's a comfortable margin, and the pitcher has difficulty. Streckenrider will now face Chris Davis. Davis is 1 for 3 and a walk today. Had an infield hit against Kyle Bearclaw in the 5th inning. The right-hander delivers, swing and a miss, and strike one. Another fastball. Streckenrider, a big right-hander, imposing figure on the mound, fires away, gets in on the hands, and a foul ball straight back. That fastball at 96 to Chris Davis. Foul back to the screen. In the 20 appearances that Streckenrider made at New Orleans, 17 were scoreless. The pitch, swing and a miss on a fastball, and down on strikes is Chris Davis. One away. And here's Yonder Alonso. Alonso 0 for 3 with a walk today. Had a hit in the game last night. And his return to home territory. Alonso, born in Cuba, but grew up here in Coral Gables. Realmuto wants to go talk to Streckenrider, trying to help him through this inning. The one advantage Streckenrider has, I mean, of course he'd love to get a double play ball and end this game, but he doesn't really have to spend a lot of time worrying about the base runners. Not with a 6-run lead, 11-5. Got to come right after Yonder Alonso. The pitch is right there, swung on a miss, strike one. Another fastball. Streckenrider drafted by the Marlins in the 8th round of the 2012 draft. Here's the pitch. A swing and a high pop-up, playable. Dietrich goes back along with Riddle, and Riddle calls for it and makes the catch in foul territory deep behind third. 2 down. Alonso fouls out to the shortstop, and with runners at first and third, 2 down, and Stephen Vogt, their catcher, will bat. He's been shut down today. Walked in the first inning, but since then a fly ball to left, a double play ball, and a ground out, and he won't hit. It's going to be Adam Rosales. So Rosales comes off the bench to bat here for Oakland. Right-hand hitter against the right-hand pitcher. Swings, misses. 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Adam Rosales is batting .229, 3 homers, 15 batted in. This is his first pinch hit appearance. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs, 1 to go. Streckenrider sets, kicks, deals. Check swing and a strike at the knees. And it's 1-2. And another fastball. "25 pitches so far thrown by Streckenrider here in this 9th inning. The pitch on the way, a swing and a foul ball back. Rosales pinch hitting in the Stephen Vogt spot. The 1-2. A swing and a base hit up the middle. That'll drive in a run. That makes it an 11-6 game. Rosales with a pinch hit single in his first pinch hit appearance of this season. So that first walk, the walk to Lowry, comes on to score. Healy down to second. On at first base, Rosales and Chad Pinder the batter, and more work for Streckenrider. Pitch low and outside, and ball 1. Pinder has gone 0 for 4. Sorry, guys.
Some of the kids at the ball game today chanting "one more out, one more out." That might be some of the campers. Might also be coming from Don Mattingly down in that Marlins dugout. One more out.
Here's the 1-0 foul ball straight back.
Marlins bullpen was asked to carry a heavy load here today. The starter Volquez only lasted 4 innings. But Bearclaw, Ziegler, Whitgren, Garcia, and McGowan are combined for 4 scoreless. Now Steckenrider allowing this run here in the 9th.
And the walk set that up. And then a couple of hits. Here's a pop foul back out of play to the right. And it's 1-2 on Chad Pinder, the rookie shortstop. After this game ends, and boy, this 27th out is tough to come by.
Now the Marlins have gotten A.J. Ramos up in the bullpen. Didn't want to have to do that today.
And it's happened again. And it's happened before.
Yep.
Here's the 1-2. Fouled off the fists, back into the seats. A's have a long flight home and no time off tomorrow. They play the Yankees at home tomorrow night. The start of a 4-game series and an 8-game homestand. 4 with the Yankees, 4 with Houston.
One more base runner gets the tying man to the on-deck circle.
Here's a 1-2. A swing and a foul. This is upstairs to the right. 96-mile-an-hour fastball, and now Streckenrider in this 9th inning has thrown 32 pitches. Here's the 1-2. Strike 3 called, and the ball game is over. Pinder could not pull the trigger. Argues with the plate umpire to no avail, but that ends the game. The A's score a run on a walk and 2 hits in this 9th inning. The Marlins win the ball game 11-6. They've won both games here against the Oakland A's and finish up the season series 3 games out of 4. Back with the totals in a moment on the Marlins Radio Network.